Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt, man! All right! Episode 82 of Shirt Show. We're ringing in 2022 by looking back at 2021. Let's go! Shirt show!
Hey there, cutie patootie.
Happy New Year. Yeah, you too. Hey, with your platinum hair and your dark beard, you look like a Bond villain. Ah, yeah, cool. Look directly into the mic. No.
Into the mic? Okay.
Look.
You fucking idiot.
I'm not drunk yet.
Right,
no,
cool.
Look directly into the camera. Ready?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So we did it.
We survived another year.
Totally did. Good to see you, man. It's been a bit.
I know. It's been fucking forever.
I know we talked and we texted and all those things, but I haven't seen you.
I know.
Is it cold up there? You look like you look warm, but it looks like it must be cold.
I got my new hat on.
For Christmas. You got that?
So warm and fuzzy.
It's nice. Is that your favorite gift you got for Christmas?
Yeah.
You want to know what mine is?
The
world's smallest shop vac. So, hold on. Let me turn this bad boy on.
Keyboard.
All right. So watch. Nope, not. Oh, there it goes. Good boy. There you go. Yeah. It's not working. It's not really working that well.
That's
I've only tried it once. And anyway, yeah, check it out. So
cool.
And then when it gets full, pop the top.
Why do you have that?
And then
why?
Well, what if I don't know.
What if nothing?
What if there's some dust? You just turn this guy on. Suck it up. And there's a whole bunch of world's smallest stuff.
Does your shirt say Oats and Hoes?
So boats.
Oh, it says boats. I didn't see the B. I liked it better as Oats and Hoes.
This is Prestige Worldwide. They got a lot of pretty dope businesses, and that's one of them. And I got a blazer on. I thought I would dress up.
So fancy.
Yeah, I'll take it off though for you.
This is my fancy outfit. Black hoodie.
Yeah, well, you look cute.
You look so cute.
So guess what I've got? I've got a celebratory drink.
Yeah, I was going to ask if we had drinks.
JMO.
Oh, James. Nice. Our drink of choice.
Right. Too many. There's no such thing as too many JMOs.
No.
Actually. So check this out. See this? It's my new ice cube tray. And
is it the ball?
Well, they're square. You can get the round or these square guys. And so watch this. I'm going to pop this out. This is going to work. Get it? I can't. It's too tight. Okay. There it is.
That's a big
That's
cube.
big, right? That is a big.
I hope it doesn't fit in the glass.
What if it didn't? That'd have been so great. No, it's right in there.
Perfect.
This is my first time trying this out.
Good job, man.
So, a little bit of this.
I'll crack that open.
Then, I'm going to pour you a glass.
That's okay. Yeah, I can see it perfectly. Yeah. I didn't have anything in my fridge here at the shop other than a Michelob Ultra.
Well, you know who would appreciate that? Christina.
The Christinas.
Both of the Christinas, right. So we can cheers. You can actually have, is that the non-alcoholic Mick Ultra? It looks like it.
I've never had Mick Ultra, so we're about to find out.
Okay.
Hey, cheers.
All right, cheers.
Well, you want to say a toast first?
Yeah, we should. What are we cheersing to?
Printers surviving in 2021.
All you print shops out there that made it through 2021 and 52 episodes. I can't believe it. Another 52 episodes of the Shirt Show.
Here's to you guys.
Yeah.
And
There
gals.
you go. Yeah. Cheers.
Oh,
yeah.
that tastes like cat piss.
It's much better sipping it than a shot and then on to the next one, right?
Yours gross.
I have a little show and tell if you want to see it.
Hell yeah.
I have some
love show and
other.
tell.
Okay, I've got a couple other presents from other shops. I got this, which I'll read to you the little note, but this is from Action T-shirts.
Squeegees?
You saw it. Oh,
I got my
you
own.
got some too. Check that out.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. I'm going to hang that shit on my wall.
So if you're listening and not watching, what we have here is a gorgeous T-shirt, and it says, "In squeegees, we print." And it has, he's got squeegees for hands. Oh, wait, you can't see. There it is. And so the note was, I thought it was special, and he sent me one and not you. I thought that was pretty dope. But here we go. It says, "Merry Christmas, Andy. I love your show." I like how he said your. Keep up the great work. Here are, I can't read very well because it's hard to read. Hang on. Here are some squeegees shirts to brighten your day. I don't know what size you wear, so share with others, but only with other screen printers. Yeah, that's the important part. Cool, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Pretty much botched that. Next up, we've got straight from Puerto Rico. Our soon-to-be guest, is it next? Yeah, our next guest. They're going to be on the show. We're going to record next weekend. And their company is called Transomscreenprint. And he sent me a bunch of beer, like all kinds of beer from Puerto Rico. They all have really cool graphics. Can you see?
Cute.
Yeah, so a bunch of those. And they say, thanks for thinking in us for this podcast.
You are terrible at reading.
It's what is, I'm just reading it, what it says. So I'm pretty good at reading. Here are some local beers for you guys to try. I don't know. Fuck off, Dylan. That's what it says on there too. That's the most, in fact, that's the coolest thing. I wouldn't be surprised
because I didn't get any.
Yeah, well.
That's okay. I didn't want to waste the beer because I won't drink it.
That's my show and tell. You got any show and tell up there?
No, just me, man.
Okay.
This is really weird having time off. I don't like it.
Well, so far it's just like the weekend. You know, that's pretty.
Yeah, it's too much.
So far you've had, let's see, Saturday and Sunday off. Wow.
We had Thursday and Friday off. Well, I worked Thursday, but
yeah.
We were here.
So we were here Friday until noon. And like you, we decided to close all next week paid.
Yep. Paid.
That's baller. And you know what? I think that what I would have to say to that is that everybody deserves it. We went balls to the wall, pedal to the metal. What's another one?
I don't know. I didn't get any more.
Well, you didn't have any. I got two. And then what was you?
Or one brain.
Okay. Yeah. And so we were super busy and I don't know, everybody killed it. And it's so nice to catch your breath and not even think about Kong and don't even come to the shop for, I guess it's almost 10 days, right? So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then take off Thursday, Friday. But still got to do steak night on a Thursday, though. So,
well, is that work? I mean,
not really. Just work tradition.
Tell
me about your week last week. How'd it go?
Last week? Yeah, I have no idea. I can't remember. I've done so much since Christmas Eve that I just don't even remember. I think, okay, so it definitely bipped. We talked about that last week, right? It bipped, and
which is funny because I have like notes here that I was going to talk to you about, and I have bipped in there.
Yeah, I mean, I think not just our shops, but a lot of shops.
A lot of them, yeah. We were like, like 4 or 5 weeks out for so long. And then Thanksgiving came around, and then right after Thanksgiving, it bipped, like you said, and it got to be like, okay, now we're at 4 weeks, now we're at 3 weeks, now we're at 2 weeks. And then last week it was like, we had enough stuff to get us to Wednesday. And then it was like, all right, well, fuck it. I guess we're taking Thursday and Friday off too. And then I've been getting jobs together. So when we come back, we have a full week and a half of work to do. So I'm hoping that's the case, that when we get back, we have that week of work, and then sales team can get more work to where we just continue to roll. But it's kind of weird.
I mean, sort of similar here. It bipped so hard, but we had to order save us. We got a 12,000 piece, which probably got us, some full days in there early, and it went into early last week. So yeah, that job saved us. And otherwise we would have done a lot of cleaning like we normally do, a lot more cleaning, I should say. Yep. But it just was like perfect timing.
That's kind of what I'm doing tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday, is just like shit with my dad. Like, we're adding more lighting in the shop. I'm going to paint, and we're going to build some more ink racks and just a bunch of like random shit I need done. So it'll be a good time when the guys come back. Everything will be fresh and ready to go. But you're just taking the whole week off?
Yeah. I mean, I have some little things to tie up, like some loose ends. So I'll come in. So I don't know how fucking boring this is, but we've got this podcast to do. I guess that's work kind of, but not really. It's more fun than work. And then I have to finish up that video for Monarch. We did a testimonial. You did too, which you're done. Yours is done. Mm-hmm. And then, I'm working on that. So Frank, I've got that website kind of started, and need to finish that up. You got him on Instagram, which is really cool. So if you don't know, Frank GSF is on Instagram. Finally. So go find him. What is it?
If you get some screens, tag him. I think it's just graphic screen fashion.
Is it okay? Yeah. Well, go follow Frank and follow his journey of making screens, right? Mm-hmm. Are you looking it up, what it is?
I was gonna, but I'm pretty sure it's just graphic screen fashion.
Okay. I have to, I'm going to do a year-end, just sort of video for Shirkong, like things.
About time.
Yeah.
You need to get back into that more.
It's just when though? Like when?
I don't know.
Dilly, like how do we do so much?
I don't know. I've been having Bill make videos, and he's really, really good at it. And he's been making some pretty awesome ones for me to post.
I saw that video, the slow-mo, and I commented that it was fire.
You needed to get in there and teach them how to prep faster.
Yeah. If you want me to come up there, because they were moving slow.
So slow. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it was awesome though. It was like so cinematic.
It was beautiful. Like, it's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. It was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. I could watch that kind of stuff all day, it's like screen printing porn, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What did you do this weekend for the holiday? Did you have any parties?
Yeah. So we had family over. And I made, you're going to hate it. Like, if you came over for Christmas, you would have fucking hated it.
Was it salmon?
It was. How'd you know? There's no way.
I saw a picture.
So yeah, my kiddo, he grilled salmon. Here's the thing. Like, we have some vegetarians that in our household. And so he grilled salmon. I made rice.
Isn't that pescatarian?
I don't know. Whatever. Sure. Yeah.
I have no. I'm just saying words. I have no fucking idea what any of that means.
That's whatever.
Because like
you said.
vegetarian, they'd eat fish still, right? Fish and eggs.
Yeah, and like dairy and stuff. So he's not vegan,
Right?
And he and his girlfriend are. I thought vegetarian because you can eat fish still. Maybe it's whatever that is. And so he grilled salmon. I made the rice that you get at Chipotle, the restaurant. You know, I made. Hey,
I'm looking it up.
Well, let me know when you
Keep talking.
Nope, I'm waiting till you pay attention.
I'm fucking paying attention.
It's kind of chilly in here.
It's cold here too because I turned the heat down.
I'm gonna put my coat back on, maybe.
Yeah. Pescatarian is a term sometimes used to describe those who abstain from eating all meat and animal flesh with the exception of fish. So I was right for once. That's weird.
Well, good job. Yeah, so that's what they are. And are you ready for the rest? Are you gonna?
Yep.
You
Good.
Done? You
Eyes
done?
on you, bud. Mm-hmm.
The rice, because I thought you would like this. So you would have actually eaten something. So I made the rice from Chipotle, the restaurant Chipotle. I made the white rice with the, what's it called?
I always get the brown rice when I go there.
What's the name of that herb? Cilantro. So I had a little bit of that in it. And then I made stuffing just because who doesn't like stuffing? I know maybe that doesn't go with it, but I
Like
had to
Thanksgiving
have some
stuffing.
Yeah. And then I made, the last thing was potatoes. I roasted some potatoes, some red potatoes, you know, with the
Nice. Skin on.
Yep, skin on. Well, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
I invented skin on
Right. Exactly.
potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then little garlic, little Italian seasoning, the oven.
Nice.
Good stuff. Yeah. Oh, and the last, and actually, I think the biggest hit of the night, kale Caesar salad. Think about it.
I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I like it.
Do you like Caesar salad?
I love Caesar salad.
Okay.
But with kale?
Yeah, exactly. And I made my own fucking dressing too. Like it had 20 ingredients, probably. A lot of ingredients. It was effort.
Okay. Well,
It was
I'm
effort.
happy for you. And you're going to like the present you got coming on Wednesday. So I hope you get to
Kale?
pick that up.
You send me
So
kale.
just a bag of kale.
Well, so how about you? How was your Christmas gathering?
Well, Thursday was Lindsay's family's party at our house. We always have everything at our house because we have a big house and the families always come over. I don't know. A lot of it, I wanted to get the fuck out of there. But it was funny. Like I ended up standing behind the couch and everyone was doing their thing. And me and Justin were talking, and it got to the point where we just started telling like stories from our youth that are like ones that you don't normally want other people to hear. But at a certain point in your life, you get to where you're like, fuck it, who cares? You know what I mean? Like that stuff was against the law at one point, but it's not, we're not doing it now.
Can you share one of those stories right now?
I think
with
I
us?
told you most of those stories.
Okay.
Well, we were talking about how we caught the bridge on fire with Molotov cocktails. And we were talking about how I wrote no rules on the sign with my own shit. Smashing mailboxes with bottles from the driver's seat. Just stuff like that. But it was funny, like telling those stories to Justin and then looking over and seeing all the other people watching and listening to what we were saying. And I was just like, fuck it.
Right. They're like, and the
Like-
kids were listening to this too.
Like different opinions of me from then on. But that's
Right.
okay. That's who I am as a person.
Well, what do you call a quarter with bite marks on it?
I know this one. I've heard it before.
Yeah, I thought you might have.
I don't
But-
remember.
Bitcoin.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does that hurt? Is that that's not,
it hurts my soul.
that hurts your soul a little bit? Yeah, but I have another one to follow up with, and
Okay.
then we'll hear yours. Okay. And so
Okay.
Alexa, life of a female screen printer,
Mm-hmm.
sent me this one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I modified it a little bit, just slightly.
Okay.
Did you hear that The Rock got hospitalized due to a peekaboo accident?
Mm-hmm.
You did hear that?
Is he in the ICU?
Yes, he is. Yep. He's in the ICU. Yeah, it's a bummer. Hopefully he gets out soon.
I got 2 jokes as well, but they're from our buddy Scott at King Screen.
So they're probably screen printer dad.
They're
dad
screen
jokes,
printing
right?
jokes. Yeah.
Okay. What you got?
You ready?
Yep.
Did you hear about all the screen printers that offer free screens on all their orders? They do it. They do it for the exposure.
Nope. That's a stretch. Ha, get it?
Nice. Why did the screen printer get arrested?
God, there's a ton of reasons.
True.
Probably either for setting bridges on fire or rubbing his shit all over a sign. One of those things.
Could be. For flashing.
I like that one. Good one, Scott.
Yeah. Scott said he wrote like 20 of them the other day. So the funny thing is he sent it to me and I was like, yep, definitely using that one. I was like, you didn't send it to Andy, did you? And he's like, oh, I sent it to the Shirt Show Instagram. So I immediately went on Shirt Show Instagram and deleted his DMs so that you didn't see it.
That was nice of you, but good of you because then, yeah, I didn't even know the answer.
I told him.
Or the punchline. Good
Told
job.
him I did that.
Okay. So, hey, it's time chat about our sponsors for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. This is good,
Yeah.
This is good stuff.
I hope you're fucking obliterated by the time this is over.
Well, it all starts with the screen.
Yes.
And whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com.
Mm-hmm.
FFFFF.
Rank.com.
I got that right. I just spit it out thinking there's probably 5.
We've done it too many times, you'll know.
And the one with the most trackage.
Mm-hmm. Greatfuckingscreens.com.
Right. And he's ordered a sign that's going to say, it's going to replace his old sign. It's going to have that out front.
It's just going to say great fucking screens on the front of this building.
It's probably not code like the city, or they're going to ask him to take it down.
Yeah, but he's on kind of like a side street. I don't even think
Yeah. I
it would
mean,
matter.
I think it would be fine. Yeah. I don't see the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan, nobody, I don't know. Yeah. Nobody likes cleaning screens.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Well, you like cleaning screens a little bit more these days. So that's fair to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair
That
to
is
say.
true. Yeah.
That's true. And I do too. Like, it's actually not so bad. So should I say most people don't like cleaning screens?
99.9% of people don't like cleaning screens.
Right. But Easy Way makes it easier. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will help you keep your screens and your shop clean.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why do you know why we say and your shop? Can you remember? Why would they?
Because of I don't have this one. You do. Isn't it 6 something?
842.
842.
Yeah. What do you clean your rubber with? What do you clean your rubbers with?
Baby wipes.
Oh, okay. Well, do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, no. Stop doing that. That sounds awful and like it would take forever. You don't have a squeegee cleaner?
No, I mean, we scrape the squeegees off 99% of the ink off, and then we just give it a quick wipe.
False. You don't. There's no way to scrape 99% of the ink off. There's just
94% of the ink off.
You're closer, but I still don't think you can get.
Huh? What
You're
do you
saying
mean?
only 6% of the ink is left. There's no fucking way.
If that,
There's no way.
it's the amount of ink that's left over that, like, when you scrape a blade past it, that would stay on.
Dylan, do tell. What are you using to scrape the ink
Spatula.
off of a metal one?
Yeah.
Oof. Mistake. Don't you nick the
It's
rubber?
not a sharp one. It's like the round cake batter spatulas that we use to put ink in the screen.
Plastic though.
No, metal.
Okay, well, whatever. Sure, fine. Well, I would say I would recommend that those that don't have the soft hand that Dylan and his team have, because we didn't, and we used to use the metal putty knives, spatulas.
Sharp.
But occasionally they would nick that rubber, and that's no good. And so we switched to something else that I can't think of. Like just no. Well, yeah, we have that too, but we switched to like this, I guess, plastic that's really dull and it won't nick your rubber. And then we put it through the squeegee cleaner, correct? And we use 842 because 842, like Alex,
won't break
Easy Way
down the
Alex, it won't. It just won't. Okay. And so, but we also use that to clean like our ink cards and our table. And so that's why I say not just your screens, but your shop. It cleans your shop. The 842 is less abrasive, so it will not break down or do anything or swell. There you go. Good. You don't get swole. Your rubber don't get swole. And so check them out at easyway.com. Easyway.
It's the easiest way.
We did good. I think we did good there. Right?
Yep. I mean, we're just talking about it, man.
Mm-hmm. Accident. See, just when I say we did good, I mess it up. Action Engineering makes accessories printers need.
Yes. Truth.
They have all kinds of rad stuff on their website, actionengineering.com. And be sure to use Shirt Show at checkout and get a one-time discount of 15% off.
Mm-hmm. They have deals right now. I was going to try to look it up real quick. I don't know if they would still have the deal by the time this episode comes out, but if they do, go check it out. They have some some sweet deals right now.
Yeah.
So do that.
Do that. I think we're done with them. We're just talking. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just talking. Yeah.
Dylan, do you know what Monarch Color does?
Improves your shop and your prints.
They do. That's it.
True. Yeah.
They make ink. They have great customer service. They make all kinds of whites. They make an everyday standard cure white. They make a Yeti kind of medium cure white, I guess you'd call it, because it cures at 290. They make a super poly. What's it called? ULT2. Yeah. Do you know what that stands for?
Ultimate.
Right. That's for ultimate. And it cures at 270, which, by the way, I don't know if anybody has been printing because it's difficult finding 100% poly shirts. So we've resorted to a shirt we really don't like, and it's the C2. Those fuckers shrink. So like if you try this, put a C2 through the dryer and then measure it, put it up against a C2 you haven't put through the dryer, and you're looking at like shrinkage. Okay. And so how we avoid that is we use ULT2 Ultimate. It stands for that.
Ultra low temp.
And ultra low temp, you can lower it to 270. We actually did lower our dryer to we went to 280, sent those bad boys through, and less shrinkage, and also that it doesn't gas out. And so the whiting stays nice and bright.
Dye migration.
Correct. So you can learn more at monarchcolor.com. Ink better, print better, be better.
Live Moss.
Monarch. Okay, so here we go. Drum roll. I think we have a new sponsor.
Yeah. We talked to our good buddies at Graphic Source.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is we pretty much were already plugging them at every possible chance anyway, because we thought it was a rad product.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much anybody who talked to us on the show about needing a artist or somebody in their, art department, we were like, hey, check out our buddies at Graphic Source.
Truth.
Hit up Nick or Lucas.
Yeah. Do you know what they do?
Tell me.
You tell me.
They're a full-on art department.
Yeah.
You can just send them stuff to get steps done if you need help with something, complicated steps, regular steps, or you can hire them on to be a full-on art department. Like they'll do everything, mock-ups and separations and Pantones, all that stuff.
That's right. Yeah. And if you want to send them just your hard stuff, send them just the hard stuff. You want to send them just like the easy stuff that, let's say you have a designer.
You're too bogged down.
Yeah, you're too bogged down. You're like, oh, just get me this production stuff because it's not very fun. They'll do that. I guess if you don't even have an artist at all, you just don't have time. Or if you're an artist and you just don't have time to get art done because you're busy on press or busy doing whatever, well, then send it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plus they're just good dudes. So
good, very good dudes. So let's see. That would be it. I don't have any super unprepared. I think they're graphicsource.com. No?
Sure. Just Google it. Just do the Googles.
Oh, you're not telling me to do that. You just check it out.
In general.
Yeah, we'll have more info next week.
Yeah, it's Graph X Source.
Yeah. That's it. That's all our friends. Yeah. It's all our
sponsors. And with all of these people that help us out, and they're all people that we love for sure. Like if you're planning on doing some New Year's resolution shit with your shop and like getting stuff in line and figuring stuff out, hit up all of these people. Which
you should do some, if you don't do anything right now, do one thing, and that is have some goals for 2022. Right?
Dial in your darkroom. Get your art department in line. Get the right tools to, print the best possible shirts. That either Action or Monarch or Frank. Graphic Screen Fashion. Just get your shop in order. Get your shit in line. Right, especially right now with fucking COVID stuff and contract printing and fucking Amazon merch and all this other stuff. Like, you should be printing the best quality you can get to have that edge over anyone else.
Those are some very well put ideas. You have the voice of an angel, and it was poetry.
Okay. There's like a spider hanging from my hat.
Oh, not a minute ago, like an hour ago, when I first got here, I was getting everything ready, right? And then I heard something on the roof, like chickens.
Like a fiddler?
Yeah. Somebody was playing fiddle up there. It was the craziest thing.
It's weird. It's crazy. It's wild, man. How many JMOs have you had?
So just one. You saw me. That was it.
Mm-hmm. That's your second bottle.
Man, that would be rough. No, it is not. All right, dude. Well,
look at this shit right
show, did you pour your Mick Ultra into that?
Mm-mm.
You just opened it and then had one sip?
Yeah. Beer's gross, dude.
We thought that we would do like a rewind, what 2021, what we did, some of the stuff we did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like things that we improved. I think we talk about it all. I think we talk about feelings. I think we talk about mistakes. I think we talk about things we did right. Some like successes, right?
True. Yeah.
Successes, failures, and feelings, because we're human beings, damn it. Like we make mistakes, and I think people can relate to that. Definitely. Well, when I say we make mistakes, I meant me.
And to me.
Oh.
I actually have some apologizing to you to do in here. So
whoa, I think
we'll get to that point.
This could be our best episode yet.
This is where everyone signs off. They're like, fuck this. I don't want to listen to these two assholes.
That's right. So let's start with 2021. How'd it go for you? Like, what was it? A record year, Dylan?
It was. I'm pretty sure it was. I haven't done the numbers yet. I don't look at that shit. I'm not a fucking, I'm not Campus Inc. Steven. I don't.
You don't need to. Like, you don't need to look at that. You just feel it.
Yeah,
like
I know. Right here. Right here in the old thumper.
Well, I happened to look it up, and it is a record year. And I wanted to know what months were record months. And we have some weird months out there, like in our history. So one time, like every once in a while, you probably do the same thing. You get involved in some crazy order and it's a killer month, right? But we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all-time record months. We had March, all-time record month. Not just like, oh, we beat last year's March or anything, which wasn't that tough to do because 2020, But we beat March, we beat April, we beat September, October, November, and December. All 6 of those months were record all-time months. And that's half the year. Like half the fucking year, we were printing more than we ever had.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, that's how I felt with 2020 and 2021. I felt like there was a weird lull when COVID started and all that other stuff. But right after that, I felt like we were kicking ass until recently, which is funny because, well, it's not funny, but like every printer we talked to was saying how fucking busy they were and they were turning down work left and right. And then now this new variant and the holidays at the same time, like I feel like it just like took a hard dip. Everyone got
I want to say it was 80% holidays because we always fall off right before.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. But I was talking
maybe a little variant, a little.
I was just talking to some of the staff about it though too. And it's like in our entire existence, we've never like comfortably been able to take off the week between Christmas and New Year's. Like there was always like a day or two where we had to come in and like finish a couple jobs or just like make it to where we weren't totally fucked when we came back on the 3rd. And now it's this year. It's like, I was finding shit to like add to the schedule for when we come back.
Do you think it has, I always look at it like this. Do you think it was that maybe now you're more efficient?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I had that in here to talk about because I was talking to Tony at Tiny Fish and I was asking him how he was doing. Pretty much everyone I was talking to was saying that it slowed down. But he's like, yeah, that's the problem with getting so efficient is that like you end up, you prepare your place for busy time because that's the hardest is to make sure you can get through all the stuff that you need to get through. But when it's slow, it's the catch-22 is that you're so efficient that when you're slow, you just crush everything you have on the schedule. And then you're even slower because you have nothing to fucking print. Like you have to find more shit to like maintain and clean and everything else. And we did that this year, like, 3/4 of the way through the year, we decided to like add like 4 more people and like new departments and everything else to where it got to be like, all right, I feel like it's dialed and these guys are crushing their schedules. And then, yeah, like I said, as soon as it started to slow down, it was like, I saw the schedule, like swoop, like they were just getting everything done.
Yeah, I think that we have some of the same thing going on here, where we're just more efficient. We're just so much faster at certain things. And that's not to say that we are where we want to be. It's just that we're faster than we were. And so it's hard because you're used to that feeling, sort of that instinct you were just talking about, where you have, you're like, wow, normally we're busier up till, Christmas Day, let's say even. And this year you weren't. And so I think it might be a combination of things. I think it might be that, you're more efficient, and maybe a little bit to do with some scare out there with the COVID variant. But yeah,
I think more so it's not like not getting customers. I think it's like I said, it's being those efficiencies and just the time of the year. It's just that perfect storm of like everything happening. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is, but to just have that happen, it was kind of weird.
I have a question. So would you rather, here we are, 2022, you're coming up on Christmas a week before. Would you rather have it slow down just like it did? Or would you rather fill that void with more work?
I really like the fact of, like you said earlier, that next week is paid off for all the employees because we did have such a crazy busy year. Like, even though we were efficient, we were still, balls to the wall busy. Everything was, I feel like they have a much needed week off of just like R&R.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for that. I just feel like I'd rather, for my own peace of mind, know that we've got like 3 weeks of work to come right back into as soon as
that's
back.
more, I think more important than, because everybody sort of got like spring fever or, like Christmas break fever. So it was more about, so I would take the slowdown before Christmas rather than fill that void, because it's sort of the perfect way to end the year. Instead of just like right up to the final moment of stress and craziness, I would rather it be that we had sort of I wouldn't call it chill week, but just not a very manageable week, So I would rather have that. And because people are, I think that, it's been such a tough year that we need to, we need a breather. We need to have this like great 10-day reset. And it would be, and after that 10 days, you're kind of ready, sort of like you'll be restless and ready to come back. And so you don't want to come back to then nothing, and so we sort of saved some orders. We pushed what we could. We called some customers.
Yeah, we did too. We're good now. It's just one of those things like I hit up, last week I kind of had that like feeling in my chest of like, fuck, I got to like get a bunch of stuff ready to where when they come back, they're going to have, they're going to be coming off of, not that they all are going to be itching to come back to work, because they're probably not, like I am, because it's obviously my thing, but I would like when they come back and like ready to go, that there's like more than enough shit for them to get done. So I was like calling up some of our big customers being like, hey, do you got anything you want to get in? And this is true too. Like we got notifications from like every distro saying that, all these cotton prices and everything else are all going to rise too. So I called a lot of these people and I was like, hey, now's the time to get an order in so that, you can get it before the price goes up again. So I got some stuff from that, and I got some stuff in the pipes that are like huge projects that I'm still trying to figure out as well. So like I said, I feel comfortable. I feel good about everything. It's just as an owner, nobody else really has that feeling here, but I have it of like, fuck, like I really want to make sure everything's good to go. But the other part of it is too, is like, there's some projects that we were doing at the end of the year that I kind of wanted to like get off my plate and start fresh in 2022. Like in the office, for example, like Sarah's been painting this mural on the wall, and she's been doing like all her emails, getting all her customer service stuff done. And then when she's got a lull, she just like hops on the ladder or on the scaffolding and is painting the wall. And I told her, I was like, hey, is there any way you can like finish this up this week so that when we come back on the 3rd, we're like, having marketing meetings again and like getting into shit, and like we don't have to worry about like the mural or just like certain things with fulfillment. Like the last 2 weeks before our break here, I was like refilling everything we had in fulfillment stock, make sure everything was full. So that way in the new year, there was anything out of stock, all that stuff. It was all in there and done. So my last couple of weeks have just been like, let's get everything dialed and ready so that when we walk back in on the 3rd, it's like a fresh start, fresh year of just doing what we do.
Perfect timing for that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I said like next week, me coming in with my dad is just going to be like, all right, what can we do to improve the shop or the workflow or anything like that? Space. So when they come back, it's a little more improved. You know what I mean?
Can you fly your dad down here?
I'll just send him out.
Yeah, because he'll be familiar
all you do is
with...
feed him.
All right.
Just give him some beer.
All right. Well, talk to him about that.
Mm-hmm.
And he can come visit here and maybe adopt me.
Was there anything for you last year that like you tried new that year and then found out it was really good or really shitty?
Is this a question you have for me?
No, it's the question I have right now because it leads into something that I did like that.
So is there anything that I tried that I either really liked or really hated?
Well, like for me specifically, it was diving hard into fulfillment because in 2020, it kind of ramped up of like, oh, we should be doing more fulfillment to, because everything's just going more and more online. And then 2021, I feel like I was really into it and figuring out trial and error, like all the time, like every week it was trial and error of like, what's the best boxes to put these on? What's the best way to store these? Do we do tees and hoodies? Do we do transfers? What do we do to make this the most efficient thing? So I feel like 2021 was a real fucking gauntlet of like, what to do and what not to do with fulfillment. So
You know what I learned about fulfillment?
not to do it.
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
Yeah. That's my fucking, what I think about it basically at the end of 2021 is,
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
yeah, I
Nope.
don't blame you.
So, we have, we tried, we got, sort of like you, we already had before, right? We've all done online stores for years, but we went harder into it. And, I think simple online stores work. I think that's not such a big deal when you
like a pre-sale store, like for school.
Oh
or
yeah.
something.
So that's beautiful, right? Yeah. So
Yeah,
a pre-sale store, those are fine. But when you come down to like fulfillment and you're shipping out, like I like a pre-sale store, everybody buys it. And then you close the store, you print the stuff and they come pick everything up. Like
Yes.
I don't want to have to ship anything ever individually because it just never works out. And it's on us to fix when it doesn't fit or whatever. And so I don't think we've charged enough. That's one. I don't think we have enough people. Like I would have to, if I was going to do fulfillment, I have to dedicate somebody to it. And then that's not our specialty. Our specialty is we're really good at printing t-shirts. Why do I want to get really good at fulfillment? That's a whole nother business, really.
True. And that's kind of the same feeling I have with like embroidery or getting into promo products or anything like that. It's like, I just want to be really good at one thing to where people come here for that thing. And that's pretty much what you're saying is to just do the screen printing. But I really wanted to try the fulfillment thing and I'm still doing it. It's fine. I just, like I said, I've learned a lot of things of like what to do and what not to do. And I feel like we've got it pretty well dialed, but I think the biggest struggle I had was that I took it on, and I've talked about this on the show a bunch of times, but like, when I take on a new project, I try to figure it out myself, which is good and bad. Like it's good for me to be the owner, to be the one to dive in, take the financial responsibilities, the mental responsibilities, whatever, to figure out that process. But the other problem with that is I don't always have time to put into it when it needs time. You know what I mean? Like I've got 100 other things to do. And then I've got all these fulfillment customers that are like, it says we're out of stock on this, or, so-and-so said they haven't gotten this package in like 3 weeks and all this other stuff. And it's like, then I got to look it up and find out the post office lost it and like all this other stuff. And it's just like, and then I started to get Megan involved. Like Megan was doing a great job with it. It's just that she was doing it on top of her other job as well. So like when she got busy, she couldn't put time into it. And I feel like what we really need is, if we're going to do fulfillment, is we're going to have to hire somebody to just do fulfillment all the time. Like the customer service part of it, the packing, the shipping, everything to do with fulfillment, getting the clients, like talking to the clients about what they need. Like that, we need a person for that specifically. That's not.
I think you're right. A dedicated fulfillment specialist, or maybe the better thing is to contract out third party. In fact, I think that's what is trending. I hear. So Stephen Campus Inc. stopped by the other day. He was in town for a basketball game maybe. And he brought some White Castle and I made a mistake. I just had one, not even, because the shame is low when you just have one. It's hard to not have more. I didn't even have one. I had like a bite and I felt instantly sick. But thank you, Stephen, by the way. It was very thoughtful.
Thank you, Stephen, for bringing me the White Castle. That made me feel like a gigantic piece of shit.
But it was a suitcase. And so I gave it and everybody was eating it. And, they taste good for a minute and then they feel bad for hours. But the point of the story is that he was talking about, because he does a lot of fulfillment, and he was talking about 3PL. Does that make
3PL,
sense?
yeah.
3PL. Right? Not 3PO.
Yes.
And I don't know what that is, but it's a company that you outsource it to. So let's say
third party logistics, I think it is. Dude, how do you always know stuff? How do you know so much? I have a gigantic head.
You do. There's a big brain in there, huh?
Speaking of, this hat that I got had to be specially ordered from a place called fucking, what was it? King something, because it's so fucking big.
It's awesome.
Yeah, because I have a huge head.
So what is it?
I think it's third party logistics.
Okay, so third party logistics. So here's what would happen. You print 100 shirts, small through 2X, whatever. Ship that to them. and they charge you like a storage, like a space fee. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then a shipping fee, and then every time they fulfill something, but it's like pennies, and they're pros at it. Why? Because this is what they do. Their specialty is fulfilling. They're not screen printers and embroiderers and all these other things. They just fulfill all day long, and they'll do that for you. And wouldn't that be better than having your team who doesn't have time, or hiring somebody, or all that shit? Like, maybe that's better, right?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think it's really good and the thing that I found out, one of the things I found out was that we're not necessarily dealing with customers that want to use a 3PL because they're not even close to the volume to want to do that. A lot of the ones that we were dealing with were people that were like comedians or, like
volume,
mid to lower. Yeah, it's volume, but it's not like anything crazy. They're like, oh, we want, 100 of this, 100 of this, 100 of this. And it's like, that's not something I would say to send to like a 3PL. It's like, hey, let's figure this whole like agreement and contract out with a third party system for fucking 300 shirts. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I feel like we were like, okay, let's save like this small area of shelf space. It's like, we're just dealing with this low to mid-level brand or this whatever. But then we also have customers that we're printing thousands and thousands and thousands of stuff for, that are like, okay, we already have a 3PL in, LA or something or wherever it's going. And then we're just shipping pallets. Like, that to me is like, you definitely need a 3PL. But like I said, if it's a smaller amount, that's when to me it gets to be kind of like, in the beginning of the year, we were taking on like a bunch of people that I thought were like good candidates for fulfillment. And then once we got them on and we made the designs and we set up the store and we got everything going for them, we found out they like the idea of a store, but they don't promote it very often. And they sell some shirts, but like not enough to be like, holy shit, like let's keep pumping stuff for them. It's like, they're like, oh, we sold 6 shirts a week or something. It's like, it's not, I don't have a warehouse for fulfillment space. So it's like, I have an area in our shop, like in the new offices, that it's just like racks and shelves for fulfillment. And it's like, if I've got somebody selling a couple shirts here and there, it's not worth the shelf space. Like, I'd rather get another good one to where like a whole row is dedicated to this person. And I have a couple of those. Like, I have some really good ones that are selling really, really well. And I've made sure that I bend over backwards or stay late or whatever to cater to those people. But where I drop off and I feel like a dickhead with trying to figure out this fulfillment system is dropping the ball on the lower to mid-level people that were trying to start a store with us and just weren't doing that great. And I feel like I let them down, and I don't want to do that. Like, you don't want to let any customer down. You know what I mean? Right. And I just didn't cater to them that much because I didn't feel like it as a business, it was worth it. And ultimately what happened is either they decided to go somewhere else, or I kind of fired them and said, hey, you're not selling that much and you're taking up like 2 racks. It's probably better if we just mail this stuff to you and you ship it out on your own. Like, you're only going to have to ship fucking 5 or 6 shirts a week. So you can make more money if you do it.
Yeah. I look at it like this. It's not something that I love doing. I don't love it. We're busy. In fact, we're in overtime most of the year with non-fulfillment stuff. So it's just not our thing. I get it that diversifying into it would probably be wise because, if we go into any sort of lockdown situation again, then you have that e-com option, but it's just nothing I really like doing, and I don't want to do it. And so we're not doing it.
I agree with you. It's just my thing is that I've had certain customers that are like really good, really big customers that really need to start doing fulfillment, and they need to start doing that kind of thing. And I had a meeting with one of our biggest customers the other day that was like, hey, we really want to start doing this fulfillment thing. What do you do? And what do you offer? And then I started talking to them about it, and they're like, yeah, we actually had one of our other vendors in here the other day that does like they do some other shit that we don't do, like the promotional product stuff. They do like their mugs and tumblers and everything else. And they were like, they threw their hat in the ring and were like, oh, we can do fulfillment. But if we were going to do fulfillment, we want to do all of your stuff, not like just the mugs and tumblers. You know what I mean? They were like, oh, we can do screen printing and we can do all this other stuff. And I was like, I told them our pitch. And I was like, they're like, well, we really want to stay with you. Like, we love you. Like, I've been working with that company since they very first started. So like, they want to keep us. But I feel like part of them was like, well, we also feel we would have a huge market in this fulfillment thing because a lot of people want to be able to buy our shit online. I really, really hope you do this because if you don't, we might have to send that stuff to this other place. So part of me there was just like, oh, fuck, like I need to make sure this is dialed and figured out so that I can do it for them. So I feel comfortable taking their work on because it's one of the big ones that I could really put time and effort into. Not, it's like I said, it's not going to be some small.
I guess maybe, sure, just be selective. Tell everybody else no, and then do it for a couple. Maybe that works out.
That's definitely what I'm going to
do. Something we did though that I won't do again, besides fulfillment, would be hot market print. Well, I should say almost did. So yeah, obviously, or as you know, we almost printed for the Super Bowl.
Me and you did separate teams.
And ours got so far as, because your team
didn't make it.
Was more for like a champion or like a playoff, in the playoff somewhere. But mine went to the Super Bowl, and we got so far as we had like 12,000 or something, maybe more. I can't remember what it was. Something like that. Nike shirts here, presses set up, samples, approved, all of this stuff. And, they lost. And so, sure, we would have made, I thought about this though further, like it would have been fun. We would have made a decent amount of bank, but then we would have been like dead, because you have to print through the night. And so basically
it was like when me and you were talking about on the phone when we were both about to do it, and we were like helping each other out, being like, well, what are the actual margins? Like, what are we actually going to make on this? And then we were both, when I heard what we were going to make, I was pretty much like, fuck this, I'm out. And you said the same thing too. You're like, yeah, I'm not going to take it. Like, we're brothers. Like, I'll never go against you. We're whoa. Sticking this together. And then you called me like 2 days later and said you took it.
Well, I negotiated it.
Well, I know you did. Right.
I told him, I said, no. Like we are brothers. We're not doing this shit. And then I emailed them back and I said, here's, if you want to do it for this, then cool. And they said, yes. I couldn't believe it. And then I told you that. And I said, hey, by the way,
I didn't want to do it anyway.
Well, here's the thing. Like, they emailed me again for this year. And I'm just like, no, not doing it. I don't want to go through it all because that dead part afterwards, because you have to print through the night, and so you finish at the whole team that you're running with through the night. When you're done, you want to go home, go to bed. You're not going to like print the next day. And so basically you're shutting down production the next day. Right. And so
can you hear the train going by right now? Do you see my video shaking?
A little. Yeah. A little bit.
It's loud as hell.
I can't hear it. Can you choo-choo for us?
Choo-choo. Can you hear that?
Yeah. I hear it.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, that's the hot market print thing. It's another one that's just not for us.
Well, it's kind of like you said though. Like, I feel like me and you both, when we were talking about it together, were on the same page that it would be rad to do once. Like, it'd be cool to be like, we printed for the 2020 Super Bowl, and you would have that one shirt that you made hanging on the wall. So when people walk in 10 years, you can be like, well, yeah, we printed for the Super Bowl this year, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, you'd make some coin, you get it done. Everyone in the shop could say that they worked fucking all these crazy hours to get it done. But that's it. Like, you don't want to be that. It's not a new business model. It's not like, oh, let's do this every year. I
don't know. That's just not our thing because there's just not enough money in it. We had fun. We printed for a Blues playoff, an actual cup situation, which was through a different vendor. And that was awesome. In fact, that was even better because it was St. Louis. The Super Bowl thing, it wasn't the Rams. They're not here anymore. It was Chiefs. And that's not really St. Louis. We're close enough. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people in St. Louis that are Kansas City fans now. All right. Something else. So something else in 21 that we did. Oh yeah. We added a metal halide unit. So we switched out our LED, and which, by the way, we have an episode coming out. Well, when this comes out, people have already listened to it, but Kevin talks a lot about it. If you missed last week's episode, this is hard to think about, but yeah, if you missed
the Emulsion Guru episode, shame on you. Go back and listen to it because it's a really good one. It's really
good stuff in there.
Yeah, lots of stuff.
There's some good stuff in there. And so we went back to the old school metal halide. It's just fantastic. And so we got that here. And the Emulsion Guru came here and dialed our screen room in. And so if you have that chance, take it for sure. It's a great opportunity. And we have some tools here to measure emulsion over mesh. We have tools here to measure screen tension. We have obviously step tests. We can get our stuff dialed in, but not like him. He is a pro and he does it. That's just what he does. That's all. Yeah. And so that's another thing we did. We added, I checked before we started recording tonight, and we have 6 more people today than we had a year ago.
Yeah.
But we also have lost like 4, which means we've added 10 people, which is crazy to think because we lost 4, we added 10, but we have a net gain of 6. So we added 10 to our team.
We added 4 too.
During a year. It's fucking awesome, man. Like it's, and they're all fantastic. You know, it's
same.
It's, and that's not easy. That's not easy because it's easier now because before summer came, you just couldn't find people, they just weren't out there, but everything started to shift and we added a bunch of people and they all fit in really well. And so it's made a huge impact. And so that's that's probably part of why you're more efficient now too, And so
that's most of it. Yeah. We hired all these people to pick up the slack in some of these areas. And a lot of it was just insurance policies. It was like, now we have, just like you, like we have dedicated like 2 people per press and we have people, at the end of the dryer and everything else. And before I was just running single operator on both presses. And then when they needed somebody, they grabbed one of the floater people. And now it's like, no, fuck that. Like I have two people on each press that both know how to print. So like if one guy's out sick on that press, the other guy can print and it's totally fine. Like,
and here's the thing.
No more getting fucked, basically.
Here's the thing. No more getting fucked because a lot of people, a lot of shops, including me, including you, get in that mindset of, okay, I know I need somebody to help our presses go faster, but what do they do when the presses aren't going? I don't want them standing around. It's a waste of money. I'm going to be wasting whatever dollars for them not doing anything. Or what if there's a slow day? But guess what? Fuck all that noise. It's insurance because it more than pays for yourself because when you can go fast, you go fast and you're not missing deadlines. You're crushing it. You're actually making more per day because there's more people and you're taking pressure off your other people on the team. They're not having to do everything themselves. And so that extra agree. A person, and I know it's tough because you're like, oh man, that's going to be what? Like $40K, who knows what you're going to pay a press assistant, but plus benefits. And so it's a difficult thing to do and to say that, what if I don't have the budget for? But once you get that person in, it creates more revenue. And in the end, it makes sense because the worst thing is, like you talked about, is when somebody's sick or if somebody does put in their 2 weeks and you're surprised and they're just gone.
Or they just quit out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Or they just quit. You've got another person that is there that can move up, they're ready. They're an assistant.
We've already done that now with the new flow. Like we haven't lost anybody, but someone was out sick for like 3 to 4 days or whatever. And then it's just like, it's like nothing happened. Like there's nothing skips a beat. Like they come in and the other person comes in and it gets printed and they might need someone to come help them pull shirts on a couple of jobs, but like, whatever, fuck it. Like we're still printing, we're still manufacturing. So yeah, it's totally worth it. It was one of those things. It was kind of like we talked to all these people about hiring an assistant and, I know it sounds like it sucks, but don't hold back. You're going to appreciate it later. That's how I was with this. And I was just like you said, like scared to hire 2 more people and scared to make that payroll and whatever. And it was, again, one of the best things I've done. I would say if you can do it, just do it.
Yeah. There's a lot of our questions that we put out there. Or we posted, do you have a question for us? We're recording an episode. And a lot of the questions that I got, I don't know about you, but a lot of the ones I got were, how do you grow? And I would say this, you will never grow if you don't add people, because you can't do it all yourself. You know, you have to be able to delegate things that you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to max out. You're going to max yourself out and you're never going to be able to grow. And you have to have those people in place that are ready, you know, that are trained and ready to take on that additional growth. If you just go out there and grow and you can't support it, well, you're going to piss people off and you're going to lose customers and it won't work.
You're going to make a stress situation.
Yeah. So it's tough because you're like, oh, it's the cart before the horse. I'm going to add somebody and I don't have the work. I don't think it, I think it worked quite the opposite. I think once you add somebody, that frees you up to do other stuff and work more on your business. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Next.
I got something. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to say, like, for us, 2021 actually was kind of like the beginning of us having the new office spaces. And being in here and just kind of like having the space available to use was huge because we made it a full kitchen. And we have like the big couch and we have the TVs and all that stuff. It was, in my mind, kind of like a bucket list thing of just like something I've always wanted to do just because it's rad. And I think that like, I've always wanted that to just like say, oh, this is like our break room. But I found out that it was huge for like morale and just like team building and everything else, because now every day at lunch, like they all get together and sit on the couch and they turn the TV on and they watch like fail videos, or they watch like a science video, or we watch Hot Ones or whatever. And it's like the thing to do now. Like some of us might leave and go grab food and come back, and then we all have spaces to seat. Like I had to go buy another table and more chairs because it was so full of people that we needed more seating. So like the couch is full and then there's a table behind the couch and like all this other stuff. And there's usually 2 or 3 people standing at the island in the kitchen, like watching the TV. And it's just like, we all get together at lunchtime and we laugh and we talk about shit and we talk shit to each other and everything else. Like, it's just a good like hour a day of like that bonding time. It has nothing to do with work. Like, we're not talking about screen printing. We're laughing together and joking and talking about other stuff. But I just feel like that was a huge thing. And I would recommend it to anybody that has a good sized team to just like make a comfortable space for them to like get together. I think
you have to have it. Yeah. It's so important to have, our space is probably 20 by 20, maybe something like that.
You have a really nice break room too.
You don't have to dedicate this giant space, but just enough where you can have a dining room, a big, like we went to IKEA and got this giant dining room table. We also got the couch from IKEA. And bought it's funny. We started with like a college, like a dorm mini fridge. And then we got bigger, then we had a little bigger mini fridge. And then we had like almost a real fridge. And now we have this like double wide, whatever.
Same. Yeah.
You know, but
like the freezer's full of pizzas and the fridge is full of drinks and there's water in the fridge. And like, it's literally like an apartment. Like the whole area over here, like our new offices look like the only thing that's not here for someone to live here is a shower. Well,
you can send them through the eco text or the, what's it called?
Blue water.
And we have a microwave because microwave something, and coffee and a sink, and it's super important for culture. You know, you want to, and not everybody uses it. They'll use it sometimes and other times not. And so it works out though. And it's super important for culture to be able to break, and who knows who you'll be sitting next to and start up a conversation and just laugh from it before you have to go back to work. And also it's just super important to have a spot where you can go. People sleep on that couch, you know, actually take a break, and I'll walk by and I'll do a 30-minute nap, you know, a quickie.
Well, it's just like, it's that thing too, is it's like your team, depending on the size of your shop or whatever, like not everyone on your team normally would hang out in real life. Like outside of work, they might not be like best buds or whatever, but having that space where they get together and they sit for lunch is like an icebreaker for them to like start a conversation and find out each other's hobbies and, you know, shit that they're into. And then you can like chat with your buddies at work. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. I felt like just having that space really kind of like brought us all together more so than we were before, just because we had that space. And not even that, like, yeah, there's the break room, but just in the offices in general, like me and Chris and Brian and Sarah and all of, like, everybody having their own actual office for personal space now too is like huge, because I mean, I do miss sitting directly next to Chris to where we would just talk shit to each other all day. But like, it's nice to having an office to where, like, if I'm stressed out or I have to make a phone call that's not pleasant for everyone to hear, like, I can come in my office and shut the door. Or, you know, just like we all have our own rooms. Like, the people that have offices are the people that kind of have the stressful part of the job, because they're trying to figure out the important shit to kind of like spread to everyone else. And it's like just having our own spaces to think and operate has been huge. So I think that was really good, and it's really helping us like grow more because we have the mental capacity to do more things.
Well, you're trying to add benefits, right, to your shop and to your business, and you want to retain people and also attract people. And when you somebody's coming to interview, they're also interviewing you in a sense, because maybe they have
like,
a few
do
options.
I want to spend my time here?
Yeah. Do I want to work at Shirkong even, you know, as a designer or as a printer or anything? And so when they come through and they see that there's a break room with, you know, that looks nice, well, then that's a benefit, isn't it? Because and they also, not only is it a benefit, it's also says that you care, like you care as a company to have a space for people to chill during the middle of the day. I mean, that means something. And so it says a lot. And so I think that it is, a great benefit. You got anything else?
As far as 2021?
Yeah, I got maybe another thing or two.
Yeah. The last thing I guess I could say for 2021, because it happened in 2021. Well, two things, but I'll leave the other one for 2022.
Okay.
Is apologizing to you. Andy, I want to say I'm sorry.
What'd you do?
Well, I had, and this goes back to me having my two main press operators, and they were both efficient and clean people, and they took care of their press really well. And everyone here still takes care of their press really well. That's kind of like a must here. But when I went balls deep and hired the insurance policy, people on press and everything else, and we were very, very busy this summer, we were noticing a lot more quick teardown and setups where they were bumping the flood bar against the side of the screen. And we were having more issues with ink on the frame.
Ah, I see.
So I had multiple powwows with the team and said that when they're taking screens down, to make sure to take that baby wipe and wipe that spot on the screen where they bump the flood bar to get it out. And then we also had meetings about how to properly take screens in and out of the press. Or do you take the screen out by lifting the top and then pulling the screen down and not having to bump it against the side and everything else? So the only ink we were getting on the frame was where they would try to leave the squeegee and flood bar in and then slide the screen out. But when you slid it over just enough on a 16-inch flood bar, you were bumping one side of the flood bar against the frame, and then we would have ink on the frame. So that's why I'm apologizing to you, is because I gave you so much shit about getting ink on the frames. A, it's not sloppy all over. It's just that one spot. So I don't feel that bad. But B, you put me in touch with PMI, and instead of me using my natural gum rubber tape that we've used for fucking 12 years now, we switched over to PMI split tape, and it's a wider 3-inch tape. And the nonstick blue side goes up the frame high enough to where we're not getting ink on the frames. So both of those, me apologizing and you pointing me in the right direction to solve that problem.
Well, apology accepted, Dylan.
Thanks, bud. I feel better.
Because I think that, well, the first thing I would say about PMI is that, yeah, you could use the gum tape that you were using. But the nice thing about PMI is it's not, the part that goes up the frame isn't all glue. It's just glue and then no glue and then glue and then no glue. So it doesn't stick really.
Right.
You know, it's just really easy to peel off. And that's the whole point, right? Because you want to peel it off quick. And so, and for those who don't experience the flood bar dinging when you're doing like a screen change out, like if you have white ink, you have a white squeegee and flood up and you want to put another white in there. I think why we are bumping is because we always have a winged flood in that position. We don't have
we don't have any standard floods. They're all winged. We
have mostly winged with some standard, but if it's just like a quickie, like a 40 shirt or a 40 piece, they're easier to clean. And so we just have them for those instances, I guess. But I think you're right. We're going to standardize with almost all wing.
I don't even have any in my shop. I got rid of all of them. And when we bought the gauntlet, I requested wing flood bars.
Yeah, same. Yeah, that's what I did with the new press that's coming, and also the Cobra. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, and so when you're going fast and you're trying to do a quick, we were all about just a quick teardown. And when you're moving fast, I think whatever it costs you extra and some tape, you're gaining in labor because you're just moving fast. And so I don't know. I've never had a problem with that tape. So that's awesome. I appreciate you. Appreciate the apology.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we just pretty much had some talks and it's fixed now, but it's just one of those things. I just said, when you're taking the screens down and you're stacking them up and you're cleaning the ink out, just make sure you're taking a second to look over the frame, wipe it down. So that way, when it goes in the machine, we're not missing ink on the frame and everything else.
Well, that's important too now because you have auto reclaim and you have it's different. It's not like you're going into a dip tank and then pulling out of the dip tank and then scrubbing the screen and the mesh and then scrubbing the frame.
Because he would see
it's
it.
Different now.
Yeah,
I would see it. Now it's different. You want to go fast in reclaim and you don't want to mess around with ink, a little bit of ink on your frame.
Right.
Anyway.
So that was my thing that I said was 2021, but also mostly 2022 is that I got an auto reclaim and I've probably had fucking 1,000 people or more hitting me up on Instagram now, asking me about my new blue water reclaim. So I do want to talk about it a little bit. There's a lot that I still need to just like figure out on my own and not necessarily like figure out how to use the machine. It's more just like, I want to, anything we do on the show or anything I do before I share anything to anybody is I want to actually use it enough to be like confident in me saying, yeah, to use this thing. Like, I don't want to get the machine from Blue Water and then immediately be like, this is the best machine out there. We're going to run it for a while. And then I'm going to make a video on it for my friends that request it and say, hey, this is me putting a screen in one side and this is what it looks like on the other side. This is the process. Since we've got it, we've ran a shitload of screens on it. It's actually way more than we thought we were going to get out of it. Like when we got the assessment before I got it, there was a number of how many screens an hour or whatever, how many we could do in a shift. And it's way more than that we're capable of doing, because once you dial in like where you are and, what kind of screens you're using, and if you're using, what kind of emulsion you're using and everything else, you dial in the amount of 701 that's in the tank. And then you can set your speed of like, okay, this is what speed they can go through and come out clean on the other side. Once we got all that dialed, we were doing, like 30 screens an hour or whatever it was, to where in an 8-hour shift, we were doing well over 200 something screens. So we were really happy with that. And like I said, it's working really great. And we don't have like any gum up issues in the machine because you're only running one chemical in the machine. All the, whatever you would have that would give you issues is in the dip tank. So it's a dip tank system. You have a dip tank at the in feed, you dip in our 4 or 5 screens. We're pulling them out like normal, but once you dip the first 4, it's continuous because you take 4 out, you run them through the machine, and then you have 4 going right back in. You're constantly just running them through. So, we love it. The only thing we're changing, and it's funny because Alex warned me about it and I said I wanted it, and then I kind of went back and forth and I decided against it, was a finishing station at the end. And the very first thing, as soon as he came out and visited me, I was like, you know what? We really do need that finishing station. So now he's building me one and we're going to put it on. But I love the thing so far. I'm super happy with it. It fits really well in my spot. I had issues with space and power and everything else. And it's worked out great so far. So like I said, I need to run it more to give everybody proper assessment, but so far so good.
I mean, we have a finishing station on ours too. And I think a finishing station is important because everything, like you said, is recipeed, it's timed out. And so sometimes let's say a screen has been racked for like 2 months or something, it's just been sitting there on a rack and it's harder for the emulsion to come out, but it's in with other screens. And so it's still on that same recipe. And every once in a while, a screen will come through that is 99% good to go, but there's
it's
just
always the super tiny thing. And one thing I'm learning too from this is if you're doing wet on wet printing or you're doing something where it's a shitload of white prints or whatever, and you end up with white ink on one side, and then you have a little bit of ink on the bottom side of the stencil, like a slight haze or something that's on the edge of that emulsion, like whatever stencil is in the screen. If you have ink on both sides blocking that emulsion, when you dip it and run it through the machine, the dip didn't get to that emulsion, like that slight line of emulsion. So when it comes out the end of the machine, you might have like a slight, like really, really thin line around certain text or whatever it was where you had that ghosting. And that's what we're finding is like, it's always like one tiny piece of emulsion here that, was just whatever issue, but it doesn't really have much to do with the machine.
What we find though is that whatever time you're spending at the finishing station, it doesn't slow you down because maybe it's 20 seconds, but you have that amount of time before the next one comes through.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're there anyway.
So now we're taking it out of the machine, putting it in the booth and hitting it like for like 1 second with a pressure washer and it comes right out because it's already loose. It just didn't come out.
Exactly.
So now we're just like, all right, if we had a backlit finishing station, then we could just like hit it real quick and then it's a clean screen. The other awesome part about it too is it has air dryers. So when the screen comes out, it's
I would love that.
Mostly dry to where there's no drips. It's just like moist. And then you can put it in the rack and then you don't have issues with like fish eyes of drips through each other.
Yeah.
And everything else.
I want to build my own sort of dry station.
Yeah. Tyler was talking about building one TC. So you should get together with him and make that shit.
All right, Tyler, I'm calling you.
Yeah.
All right. So, I got 2 more things.
Oh, for 2021?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 more quickies. Ready? I demoed a wall and at our sales counter and expanded it, doubled the size. And so we tore everything out. Like I went for it. So I had 2 options, a cheap option to leave the existing counter and then do this kind of half-ass other counter. And it would have been cheaper, right? Like $1,000 maybe. But I went for it and we just tore everything out, started new. The granite alone was like $7,000 because it's, 15 foot long and then it waterfalls down the sides. It looks really cool. And why did I do that? Because we sell a lot of t-shirts right there. It's the
first thing people see when they walk in the door.
It is. And I wanted to give a great space that you can spread shirts out on. You can, put color charts out on. You can look at their art. They can have some people bring in, like a laptop and they just put it on there. And it's just a great space. And so we did it, and I'm so glad we went for it and did the additional one because it just looks so cool. And so that was a big improvement, and it also changed the whole flow. Like, because there's 4 people. There's 2 up at the counter and 2 right behind it. There's 4 people that work there every day, and it changed the vibe of that department. Like everybody was happy, with how it functioned better.
Yeah.
And how it looked better, and it affects them. Like affects their everyday, sort of like a break room, right? It affects their everyday life on how they function and how they, work with customers. And so it was a huge improvement and a much needed upgrade. And the last thing that I wanted to highlight about 2021 is that we read 12 books. Well, I don't know about you, but I did.
12 half books.
6. You read about 6.
Book club was good. Book club was fun. There was a lot of stuff learned and a lot of stuff just to help the soul. So,
right. And not just that, it was also fun to meet up, which in fact we have in a couple of days here, but it was fun just to meet up. And I don't know, we only are on for maybe an hour and we talk about the book for half the time, I'd say. And then the other half is just about how the week is going and stuff like that. But my favorite book, and I want to hear yours, my favorite book was our number 2, Green Lights.
mm-hmm.
The second book we read, Matthew McConaughey. And I just really liked this book. There were some good ones too, because it was close. I almost was going to say Vans.
That's what I was going to say. My number 1 would be Vans, and my very, very close second would have been McConaughey.
Yeah.
Well, Vans took the cake for me.
It was close. I just really liked how some of the ideas that Green Lights had was I could really relate to some of the ideas, and so I really liked that. I thought it was a good way to think.
McConaughey's was good because it was just like it made you feel good. Like there was a lot of good stories, and I listened to it, so it was like him fucking like saying it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, really good. But for me, I guess like my soul was like Vans really hit me because of like his work ethic and like everything. Like for me, just like with my shop and like hearing what he did with his, it was very, it was a great story. It made me feel good about certain things, and it made me love Vans even more because I was already a huge supporter and fan. And now I probably purchased like fucking 20 pairs since I read that book. So, that was a really good one for me.
It was a good one. I don't know. That's it. I think that's it for highlights of 2021.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to talk about 2022?
2022 for me is 2021. I feel like we hit really hard. We did a lot more efficiencies. We did a lot of things that we needed to do to be more productive shop and dial things in and everything else. I feel like mid to end of 2021, I personally started working on a lot of things for education, especially like I'm doing things with M&R where I'm trying to push education and trying to grow things there and possibly get some class things and get the ball rolling for this whole like somewhat certification thing that we've been talking about. And also I look at that in my own shop of like, I educate myself a lot in the world of screen printing, but like I only kind of push that onto my staff when needed, like obviously like to make sure we have the best prints we can have. But I feel like I need to make it more the norm. Like I feel like we've talked about this in a couple groups that we're in too, about making a YouTube playlist of like all the best educational videos on certain topics. I feel like I really want to dial that in and have like a full playlist. And when a new video comes out, it gets added to that playlist. And I want to maybe make my staff sit down and watch those videos, maybe like 2 a week or something, or do 1 a week and then have another day where like if they did it on Tuesday and then on Thursday, we had like 20 minutes to just sit down and be like, well, what did you guys take from this? Or like, what do you think? How could we apply this in our own situations? So I think I'm going to do that a lot more in 2022 is just like make sure everybody here is learning constantly like about the industry and about like techniques and about why we're doing things the way we're doing them. Not necessarily just because that's the way we do it here upstate. Like if you're using this squeegee and this tarometer and this thing, like why are we using that over something else instead of just like, well, this is the white squeegee. You know what I mean? Like I want them to know everything there is as much as I can anyway. So I think for me, the biggest thing would be education, but also now that I had the office space and I had delegated and I'd hired those other employees, I got to dive more into what I like to do, which is the marketing and talking to newer, bigger customers. And I've talked to a lot of really big customers this year that want to do a lot more with us this year. So my big thing for 2022 is to dial in what I need to do for those customers, but also make sure we can handle the stuff that they're trying to give us. So I just today put in an email to M&R to order 6/8 Sportsman and a Fusion dryer. And I'm also trying to get another 12 color in to replace my Sportsman 8 color. And we've purchased a couple semi trailers for storage. And again, when my dad comes in next week, we're moving a couple things around to make my finishing station for tags and bags and all that other stuff more flow to be in shipping receiving. So that way, when stuff gets printed, it goes back to, shipping, and then they can do the finishing and then they can go out the door. So I feel like a lot of this year is going to be fine tuning processes and do education and as much SOPs as possible so that everybody here is dialed on proper procedures and education on why we're doing what we're doing. So
I love it. Yeah. So one of the things I wrote down was SOP City. Yeah. So we are going to go so hard on SOPs, and we're going to do it at the beginning of the year. So we're not, if we wait until we're busy, it's just not going to get done. And so we're going to take care of it.
It's a January, February project for sure.
100%. And we're going to go hard. And how I'm going to accomplish it is that everybody's going to make their own from their departments. For one, they know it best. It's not like I'm going to go around and tell everybody how they run their department. And, this is the SOP. I'm going to say, hey, we need an SOP for your department, because it just happened. Like one thing just happened on Friday. So we were going to be gone for 10 days, and our wax machine, I noticed on Friday, was on, and Kyle left for the day. And I'm like, fuck, I know how to turn this off. It's right here. I could unplug it, but that's not the best way to do it. So I call Kyle. I'm like, hey, how do you turn this fucking thing off? And, so I don't hurt it. You know what I mean? I just need to shut it down for 10 days. It's just too long, because if sort of like, I'm guessing, I can't remember. So if like it has a timer on it. And so what we've got it set at is it has a schedule. So on Monday, it turns on 6 a.m. and heats up the wax. So it's ready to go when we get here. Right. And then it turns it off at 5 and it cools it down. So it was going to do that all week long, and it was going to be on all day long. And it was just stupid. And so I wish that all I would have had to do is go up to an iPad that was in that room, hit play on shutdown, like, wax machine shutdown, and watch a 15-second video on how to shut it down. I shouldn't have to call Kyle. What if he didn't answer? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I want an SOP for everything like that. And we're going to do it. We're going to accomplish it in January, and we're going to have it. So SOP City. My next thing is I didn't know you just ordered that stuff. Thanks. I feel it hurts a little bit, because we're pretty tight, and you didn't even let me know. You told me about the other thing, what was it? The smaller press, but you didn't tell me about the Sportsman. And so I
just figured that out last week, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah. Well, that was last week.
We haven't talked yet.
I'm pretty sure we did. And if that's kind of a big deal, you could have said, hey, Andy, got some news.
Why? What are you doing?
Well, I told you about what I'm doing, and I ordered another Cobra, a 14 color, but I ordered it in July. And at the time it was 8 months. So I think my date is late February to receive it. And I already have the install scheduled. And so we are going to swap out our 8 color Sporty for this 14 color Cobra. And the logic behind that is, one, it's faster, just duh. And then 2 is it's faster. And not by just like how many it can print an hour, because I don't care about that as much, but it's more about how many times you're going to spin. And so on a 14 color, we're going to spin less. Yeah. Yep. And so it's going to be...
that's the exact reason why I'm going to get a 12 color over there.
You mean instead of, what is it
my
now?
8 color Sportsman.
Yeah. Same thing, right?
Yeah,
so
exact same thing.
If you have to spin twice, well, that takes twice as long. And so all of a sudden you have a 12 color and you spin once. It's like having 2 fucking presses. No, so, you wonder how you get, become more efficient is that you have a press that doesn't have to spin more times, or you're not like on like a 14. I've noticed this on our 12 color, you don't have to think as hard sometimes you can just throw jobs up there and print, and that speeds it up. Because sometimes you're sitting there scratching your head like, okay, so if I put this here and it's flash here and all this kind of stuff,
if you have it on Revolver too, then the person unloading and loading has to think about, okay, well, it's got 2 more spins before I can pull this shirt, or, it's just, you're just wasting time. Like if you can do everything in one spin, like it's the best thing ever. And it's not like slightly getting away with doing it in one spin either. Like there's people that like are sacrificing print quality by doing wet on wet when they shouldn't be doing wet on wet in certain spots because they want to make it one spin. This is like legitimately doing one spin with 2 to 3 flashes on press or whatever, just to get it correct on a one spin is huge. Like it's huge.
And I'm not saying we're never going to spin twice, because we will.
No, yeah. 14. I'm just saying that like 90% of your jobs are going to be one spin. And it's amazing. Right. And that's the reasoning where us getting the smaller press, the 6 color, is because we have a lot of these jobs that come in that are like good sized jobs that are like, oh, we want to do 3,000. Like for a lot of these touring bands or touring comedians or whatever we're doing, they tend to always get us stuff last minute. They're like, okay, like we have a show that we ended up scheduling, because for a comedian, it's one dude. He's showing up to a venue and he's just talking about some shit and he leaves. So they might be like, oh, we have a show in Boston and we need 3,000 shirts for the event. And I'm like, okay, cool. When do you need them? They're like, on Friday. So it's like, normally what I would have to do is I'd have to be like, okay, 1 day or 2 days possibly is going to be this job on this press when we already had it booked this week. So now I can be like, okay, the third press over here that's a 6 color is just going to knock out those jobs. And then the other 2 big presses are just going to do their normal shit. Like there's no hiccups in production.
I think this is important to say, and that is both of our advice would be to never, ever, 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 ever buy a 6 color press if it's your only press.
Oh,
never.
Yeah, no. But this is solely to do like 1, 2, 3 color prints.
Exactly. So why you would buy a 6 color press is that if you also have a 12 and a 14 and stuff like that, because here's how, like right now our setup is we have an 8 color, a 10 color, and a 12 color. And so our 8 color runs all of the 1, 2, and sometimes 3 color work. The 10 color runs, sometimes runs 1 and 2, but mostly like 3 and 4. And then the 12 color runs everything else. And so what's going to be cool is that we're going to, and what's kind of neat for Brian, so Brian and Mark, the press team that run the 10, they're going to go to the 14 and they're stoked because they've been at the 10 and they're excited to grow, because going from a 10 to a 14, there's just a lot more, like strategy, right? You have to think about things differently and there's more going on. And like he's ready to take that on. And then the guy who runs the 8 color sporty right now, he's going to the 10 color. And so he's all of a sudden going to have, a couple more heads to work with. And actually the 10 color is a little faster because it is a standard. It's not an oversized press. And so it's a standard. It's like a 16 by 18 max area, and so it indexes a little shorter, if you know what I mean. And so it just has less space to go. And so it's just a faster press. Yeah. It's newer too. So
my thinking too with the smaller press is it's like, okay, that press can do all the 1 color prints or the 1 and 2 color prints. And it can also do tags and sleeves and pockets and all the other stuff, because you got to think about that too. Is like, if you're doing sleeve prints, how much easier is it to change out 6 pallets than it is to change out 16? Or
it can usually do
6 pallets instead of 16.
It'll be easy to do.
Or 8 pallets.
Easier in that. In those instances, except for when you have like a 5 color sleeve or something or whatever.
Right. I'm just saying that like most sleeve prints are like 1 color. Like, you do have 2, 4, whatever it is. But to have the gauntlet and the other press just doing the money making like 10, 12 color prints all day long, then these other press can take all that load off, that to where this other, like the gauntlet could be doing, say it does 10 complicated jobs a day, whereas before it would do 5 complicated jobs a day and then 1,000 1 color pockets. And it's like, now I can just put those on this other press, and these other 2 presses can be cranking out the big stuff all day long. And then the little one can be doing all the simpler stuff.
You're a genius.
I know.
Got that big head.
Thanks, bud.
Another thing, for 2022 is data, baby. Okay. And here's what I'm going to do. So I've got somebody who actually did a little bit of that prior to COVID. And then all that shit happened. And he's been on press basically for this whole time. Well, he's coming off press and he is going to make us just flow better, because he's also a designer. And so right now he does all of our simulated process steps. And so he's going to be able to do that for everybody here. He's going to also just, whenever there's an issue or whenever there's an inefficiency, he's going to work on that. He's going to research it. He's going to figure out what we should do. And he's going to get it done, because instead of waiting the rest of the year until, we actually have time to do it, we're going to do it when we need it, because we're going to have the extra person. And he's going to, one of the biggest things that slows us down are mistakes in outputting, because there's 5 designers and they all have a little bit different idea. And we do most things right, we'll do 99 jobs in a row right, and then there'll be a fail, right? And so we need to reduce those fails. That sounded wrong. If it was 1% fail, I'd be pretty stoked. I think it's more than 1%. And so we do a lot of jobs in a row right. They do a great job.
Right.
But we do mess up. And a lot of those things are like, we choose the wrong ink for the job, because we think that, like this will perform well on an underbase when it doesn't, you know what I mean? And so he's going to be there to sort of help be like a liaison or the person in that role of, look, this is a bad choice for ink, because he's a printer and a designer. And he's like, this is a bad choice for ink. We're going to get rid of those. This is kind of a shout out to Monarch, is that high opacity mixing system is what we want. And we have some bullshit, right? We have some bullshit colors here from the past that we need to just get rid of.
Exactly.
And go to high opacity, because we're guessing too much. We're just guessing too much on how it's going to turn out. Mm-hmm. And it changes. It just changes. And so, yeah, we're going, he's going to take care of shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Monarch. That was my whole thing, is like, we had certain inks that just looked like shit on an underbase. They did their job. They would be passable to most places, but I looked at it. I'm like, this is thin. This looks like balls. I don't love it. The only option we have is to fucking double it, or, whatever, like more passes, whatever. As soon as we went to Monarch, it was like it's like high opacity inks. Great. Thank you.
And what you just said about doubling it is what I mean by, when we double it, that means we have to spin again. So like, we're going to have to PFP that. And we only do that. Let's say you have 75 shirts on press. You just want to get that job off and onto your next job. Mm-hmm. So you'll end up doubling it to make it opaque enough, right? And that just cost you a second spin. And we want to avoid that shit.
I have a funny story. Like, I'm sure Aaron called you because he was trying to get the booth together for ISS Long Beach or whatever. And this was a while ago, because I remember he called me when I was in Nashville when he called me. So it probably was when you were in Nashville with me. He called and he was like shooting the shit. We probably talked for like an hour. And then he was asking me, he's like, hey, I'm thinking about putting together some testimonials for Monarch. What would you say? Like, what would you, and I knew he was probably looking for like me to do this like huge speech on like capabilities and like all this other stuff. I was like, Aaron, honestly, the best thing I could say about this fucking ink that you have is that it does what it says it does. I was like, end of sentence. Like, Monarch ink does exactly what it says it can do. Like, it's a high opacity system. Like, that's exactly what I was looking for. I want to be able to say, I need 288C. They mix 288C. It looks like the Pantone in the book. And when you print it, you can 1-pass it, or if you want to 2-pass it, it looks like it's fucking supposed to. Like, end of story. There's no like, oh, but this yellow doesn't look good. Like, the system's good, but like pinks are kind of thin and like all this other stuff. It's like every color we print with the thing looks like it's supposed to look. That's all I want. It's simple. There's no issues. You grab a white for poly, you grab a white for everything else, and you print the fucking top colors and they look like they're supposed to look. End of story. And he was like, all right, can I quote you on that? And I was like, yeah. Monarch Inks, it does what it says it's supposed to do, Dylan. Like, that's it. So,
Good.
Yeah,
That's true.
That's all I wanted.
And so, that's another part that we want to fix, is that we have a person that is dedicated to mixing ink, and it's going to be that guy. So he's going to have his role is going to be, not just one thing every day. And so he's going to have,
he's a problem solver.
Floater. Yeah. Problem solver. And then another thing I wrote down was fire customers. And so we're going to do that thing that you do.
Red light, green light.
Red light, green light, the first thing in January, and say, a few of these people have to go because we're trying to make room for just clients that we want to work with, and that also we make more money on. And so that's way easier said than done, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
I think, because
we've been doing it for a couple months now, and it's difficult, but it worked out well. Like, we turned a bunch of people down, and we upped our pricing and did everything else, and
you'd be proud of me.
Good. I'd be proud of you.
So I want to say I'm sorry also, because I said my motto has been fix everything always. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Always. Fix
and
it.
Send them cookies.
I haven't done that yet because he told me that I could kill somebody. And so I didn't do that. But I do think that's a great idea. I might do it one day. But no, I actually didn't fix something. I actually said no. Well, we had fixed. So we had already, it's sort of what I said before. Is kind
Is this the one you called me about the other day?
Did I tell you? Oh, I did tell you about this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did. So we did 6. It was an embroidery, and we did 6 hoodies, and they emailed us and said that they were really upset and felt like we should have made it clear what unisex meant, because they were expecting ladies' hoodies. Yeah. And I just said, nope.
Well, was that the same one where you said that they complained that the image was like 1/8 of an inch too small?
Okay. So that's why I felt comfortable, because I always said that give that person, they get one, right? They get one good faith. Okay, cool. We're going to fix it no matter what. And we did. And this time this happened, and they said that we didn't explain what unisex was, and we did, but they said that they didn't fully get it. And I just said, look, we did everything on our end. If
that's a red flag customer.
Sorry. Yeah, it's a red flag customer. So how do you, though, here's the thing. So time out. Here's my question to you. Here is the most important part. That guy's been coming here, tiny orders though, for like 3 years, let's say. Mm-hmm. It's never really been good. We've raised the prices a couple times. What do you do? And our minimums are changed now over there in embroidery. They're a little higher. What do you say? Because it's not like just a one-time thing and you hope they don't come back, because you would think if we did such a shitty job, they wouldn't, right? Like, why would they come back here? How do you say it? So what do we say the next time he comes in and says, hey, okay, so cool. I want to order, 6 more hoodies. What do you say?
Well, we had this discussion, I think like 1 or 2 episodes ago, where I was originally saying that we were too booked up. And then we said to go somewhere else.
So that doesn't work.
But I think the biggest thing, you just have to be honest with them. Just be like, hey, you don't fit in our mold anymore. We're going in this other direction, and we're trying to weed out certain kinds of things. And like, sorry, but like you're in. I don't think. See, that weed out is trigger words. I mean, I wouldn't say weed out, but I'm just saying like you got to write something that's just, because the problem I was having is I was saying shit like, we're too booked up or whatever else. And then these people were like, it's cool, I'll wait. And then we were like, what do we tell them? And it's like, all right, we'll say fucking February. And then they're like, all right, cool, I'll hit you up in February. And it's like, no, we just don't want to do your fucking job at all. Like, So pretty much what happens now is Sarah or Morgan or Chris or whoever will come to me and say, I've got this customer. It feels like a red flag customer, because that's what we say, like right off the bat. Like if we see any red flags at all, let's get together and assess the customer and say, is this a job we should take on at all? Or is this a customer we should just kind of not take on ever again? A lot of the times it's just a job. Like it might be a good customer that we have all the time. They give us a job that's just kind of like, it's throwing a red flag. Mm-hmm. We tell them like, hey, we need to A, change the artwork or figure something out, or B, we just don't do it. But a lot of the time it's just something we can fix with artwork. Because before we were taking certain things for certain customers and 90% of their artwork was always cool, but this one was kind of shitty and difficult. We know it's not going to come out as good as they think it's going to. We would always be like, well, fuck it, let's try it. And then we would print it. And then you kind of hope the customer doesn't call you and say, this isn't what I was thinking, when you kind of went on a limb and knew in your mind that it wasn't going to work out as good as you thought it was going to anyway. So now we're just like, nope, we're not doing them. Like if we get any red flag like that, we're not doing that job. I've just been telling Sarah and Morgan, like, hey, just be honest. Just be like, this is what's wrong with this job. This is what's wrong with this artwork. We don't want to take it on because we don't want you to be disappointed, or we're not taking it on because it doesn't fit in our wheelhouse anymore. And
what if you said, instead of it doesn't fit in our wheelhouse, what if you said to that client, say, look, the past couple orders didn't work out. We want you to be happy. And I think I know a place that would be a great fit for you.
Yep. That's perfect.
Here's the card or whatever of this place. And I think that they are exactly what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Like, would that work?
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfect. Like I said, I just be honest with them. Like, word it however you want to word it. But it's just like, I feel like you have to, because there's so many jobs that we get that it's not like we can't print certain things. It's just, you look at a design and you're like, this is not fucking made for screen printing. Like the customer is getting this and it's a picture of like an actual photo of a basketball player. And we know that like, certain shines in there or certain like looks of things aren't going to translate as well to screen printing. Like this is more of a digital print, but the customer's like, no, I want screen printing. And we're just like, all right, well, we know we can get really, really close. So let's just go ahead and print it. And then they get it and they're like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And then like you, most of the time we're like, fuck, like we go back and forth 30 emails later. And then it's like, they're like, I just want my money back. And then we say, fuck it. And we give him the guy his money back. We wasted so much time and lost so much money just dealing with this order when we should have just said no in the first place. So now I'm just like, nope, say no now. Like, yeah, it might come out cool. It might work out. But most of the time, it's just not worth it. It's not worth the time and energy. Skip it. Go on to the next thing.
If we have any doubt, we tell them no. And we give them one option. And that is we can do like the super color, right? We can do a DTF. It doesn't feel exactly like a screen print, but we can achieve what this looks like.
The look, right?
And so that's your option. The option is either no or this, and so that's what we've moved to recently, and it's actually working.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So that would be, and the only other thing I want to do better in 2022, I guess there's a lot more, but the most important anyway, the things I want to accomplish, the last thing is finishing our boxes better, like a better presentation. When the customer receives the box or boxes, that they're not just willy-nilly folded, whereas the box isn't really even folded all the way, and you can kind of see the shirt exposed. I just hate that, because we talked a little bit about this a few weeks ago, I think, and that I don't want to ever have to stack a box on another box and it's touching a shirt and getting it dirty. Because if I was a customer, I wouldn't like that. And I don't know what that means, but we're going to fix that. And so we're going to get a team on it, explore some options, and come up with a solution, because I just don't think we do it good enough.
One thing I've never done that I kind of want to do, but I kind of want to test the waters to see how much of a pain it is get the actual bags for the boxes. When you get like white shirts they're in like a real thick plastic.
Yeah. But okay. So one thing I don't like about that is
I just don't like wasting the plastic. Yeah. The environment.
Yeah, I hate that too. It makes me sick. To think
that's the reason why I have
every single box. That's thousands of bags. And I'm like, that sucks. But
the only other thing I was thinking is just, and this doesn't, the reason why the plastic sounds nice is like if UPS is an asshole and leaves it out in the rain, which we've had before, then the shirts are fine in the bag. But like, how often does that actually happen?
Not much.
The other thing is like you're saying is if the box open, or if they go to cut the top of the box and they cut into the top shirt because it's too close or they cut too deep, is to put like a Gildan box like flap, like cut them off and just have a stack of them.
Well,
and
you
put
can
them on
have
the
a
top
sheet
of the pile.
like a thick sheet of, not really cardboard, but kind of like a poster board almost.
Yeah.
I see that sometimes. Like we'll get boxes from, I don't know, some, random.
Well, that's why I
like
say
Nike
a piece of cardboard, because then it's thick enough to where if you were to cut, you wouldn't cut through it.
And that just goes on top, and then the box closes, and
and then you can tape it and whenever it's done.
So that's one thing. I just want to finish our boxes, better.
You want a better presentation.
Yeah. So when they get them back and they're opening them up, the shirts are in there and they look nice and they're not all wrinkled and a mess. Right. So we do an okay job, but we could do better.
Okay. Well, I said what I thought for 2022. There's obviously more stuff, but I feel like those are the highlights, and we got all of 2022 to go through still, and we're going to talk about them during episodes in 2022. So do you want to move on to this monster list of listener questions?
I would love that. Yeah, let's do that. I have 10 that I chose.
All right. Well, I'll ask one, then you ask one, and then we'll see where we end up.
Did you whittle it down to 10? You better not have fucking like.
I have maybe 10 or 15, maybe.
Okay, good. All right. So, Dylan, why don't you go first? First question.
The very first one I had was from Eric at Night Owl.
Okay.
And he asks, what one major change you're looking forward to in 2022? Which we kind of just did, but I can say real quick, mine was expanding printing capabilities and working harder on education.
Okay. I want to do something different. I want to say, okay, I have one. Try and plug in a couple of, when we are slow, a couple of strategic customers that actually have work that I can fill in right there, even though it's contract work. Try and come to a, negotiate a dollar amount that just makes sense that for us.
me and you kind of talked about that on the phone this week. And I think I might want to do the same. Like you have one locally, but I don't really have one locally, but I kind of would like to get in contact with a good, maybe one really good broker or contractor that, like you said, if I feel a lull, I don't want to do it all the time, but like if I feel a lull or something, I can call and say, hey, do you want to send some stuff over? Even my opinion on the contract thing is if I can call them and just get work to fill a slow time, like say January, February, as long as I'm making enough money on that job to pay the employees to do the work so that they don't have to go home early or whatever, I'm cool with that. It's rare that this happens at all, but like if I have that in my back pocket, that would be kind of nice.
Yeah, for me, it's a break even. So like if we were able to pay everybody's wages, cover rent and electricity and everything else, like if we were able to cover that for a half day on a press because we're slow or a full day or whatever, then I'm going to, I've actually got that. I've got, we went into partnership with somebody about a year ago and it's been growing and that they're like the perfect customer for that. And so
you got it made with that.
And so they're out there though, it's not just like if there's only one, they're out there. And so if you can find somebody that can order shirts or that has those orders or whatever, and then you can say like, not this week or not this month or whatever, but if you were in contact with them and can say, look, next week I could use, you could even say I've got 8 hours or whatever you want. I've got 2 days worth of work open on a press, not all presses, obviously, but a press. And so, that's one thing that we're going to do different is I'm going to be a little more, I guess, ahead of things to know and be able to predict that I can accept an order or not from a contractor, And so, thanks, Eric.
Yeah. All right. Your turn.
The other thing I would say though, to Eric is that I'm going to buy all of the tape because we love tape so much. And Eric, is not going to, I know he's trying to get into tape more, but we're going to buy it all. Me and Dylan are buying it all. Too bad. Next.
You got to ask. It's your turn.
All right. Northwest Inc. asks, if you were grading static screen tensions into categories, good, fair, and then time to remesh, what would those numbers be? So in other words, what's the screen tension cutoff for like good? And then, what's the cutoff for fair? And what's the cutoff to like, these are gone, I'm going to go get them retensioned?
I would say anything like below 15 would be garbage.
Well, for sure, I agree with you. It's garbage, but I would say earlier than that.
Earlier than 15?
Higher. Yeah, sorry. So a couple things. One, a couple things play into this, which if you're not running thin thread, it doesn't really affect you. But if you're running thin thread, typically you pop that screen before it drops to below, even into 15. Like if you put a meter to your screens, Dylan, you're going to find very few at 15 because it just seems like you pop them by then. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that, I thought about this for a second. And I would say that what's considered good here is anything above 22. Fair is anything between 18 and 22. And then anything below 18 is no good.
Yeah, I would say you could keep the 18 to whatever, 15, 14 for like a one color, like a black ink or something. But really, you should just be recycling them before.
Well, I'm okay with that, I guess, as long as they're clearly labeled that they're low tension so that they don't get stuck in.
We put like a big X on them.
Yeah, then you're fine. Because if you try and run that with, a 5-color job or something, you're going to fuck yourself. So don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Okay. Brandon.ed asks, did COVID help or hurt your business revenue wise?
Okay. Are you going to answer first?
I can. I would say that, in my opinion, the initial lull for maybe 2-3 weeks was the only time I saw suck. After that, I feel like it helped us because there were a lot of people that came to us, new customers that couldn't go to their old one because they were closed or out of business. So if anything, we had, like we talked earlier, we had a crazy year, both years so far since COVID, because we've just had a ton of work. We never shut down. We, kept going. So I feel like for us, it was good. I mean, I don't want to wish it on anybody, but I feel like we were fine.
COVID has absolutely hurt our business. It continues to hurt it. I would say that it doesn't so much it did initially in revenue. We were down that quarter and slowly built back up in 2020. But what continues to hurt is just the people we have a large enough team where people actually get COVID. And I have a lot of, and if, let's say they don't have COVID, they have to go get a test. This just happened to me last week, whereas they thought they were potentially exposed. And you would think that at this point, our country would have rapid tests where you could find out like this and you're good to go, but that is not the case. And so I had a guy miss 3 days, almost 3 days last week because he was just trying to get a negative test, because for one, you couldn't even get the same day test here. It was so busy. And so he couldn't get in for over a day. I know that they have the at-home tests where you could just go to CVS or Walgreens and
I feel
buy
like
it, but
those
they were all gone. Well, and they're gone. Like you can't even get them. And so has it hurt it continues to hurt our business just in productivity and lost, people. And I paid him for that. I don't fuck around. I paid him to be gone. Because
I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage there just because we're so rural that I don't have the population like you have in St. Louis. So we have way less cases than like a populated area. So
yeah, well, so total sales only that quarter after it initially happened, we pivoted to masks, but it still didn't make up for.
Well, that was the question, was revenue. So all in all, both of us had record years.
Yeah, we had 2020 wasn't a record year for me. 2021 was, yes.
Right.
All right, next question.
Okay.
I have Lumberjack Design says, why is it so hard to keep any cash in my pocket after listening to your show?
I'm guessing because he's out buying the good shit.
Yeah, he's buying either good supplies or fun new equipment.
Sorry, dude. That's what you got to do.
But hey, I'd argue this. Automation.
It will get you more money in the long run.
Exactly. So yeah, if you went and spent whatever you spent on your auto reclaim, and the same thing goes for me, that comes back to you. Maybe it doesn't come back the first year, but it does. You amortize that, and that's probably the wrong word, but it comes back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Next
Same with buying the screens or buying the ink or whatever. It's like less issues, less headaches, more productivity. So you're welcome is what we meant to say. That's all we're saying. Amy, our good friend at Threadbare, asks, you two are stuck on a deserted island. You get one food to bring with you. What is it? See, now I want to know if it's like we're getting dropped off on a deserted island and we're bringing a one-time dish to pass, or do we just have unlimited amount of this food to live on an island? So I'm going to go with the second one. The one-time food, like you have to pick a food that's your food to eat on this island till the end of time.
And it's going to be fresh, like it'll stay fresh.
Yeah, like we just, it's like a video game. We sit down at the table and it's like, boop, our food is
all right.
there.
I got my answer. Ready?
Okay. It's going to be chili. Garden. That's not a food. I want like one meal.
Oh, they can't put an Olive Garden on?
Oh, you just want like a Chili's?
No, I'm totally kidding. Not Olive Garden. I would say I do love chili, but if I'm on an island, that seems hot. I don't want to eat chili if it's already hot. Tacos.
Dude, that's what I said.
Really?
Yeah.
High five.
Tacos. I said tacos or fresh fruit salad.
Yeah, for the morning, I would love a little.
I'd love just salad. Like a bowl of like melons and strawberries and grapes. And
I feel like that would already be on the island. Like we could
that's true.
harvest. We could climb up a tree and get a pineapple or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
All right.
For other reasons.
Next we have Stokes Apparel asks, what is your favorite squeegee durometer? Ooh, I like this one.
I have two. So for white, it's 6290-62. And for top colors, it's a 7090-70.
Ah, we almost had the same answer again. 6290-62, same thing, rounded corners, which I buy from Action, pre-cut. For top colors, just a single 70, single Duro 70, unless there's crazy detail or something, and then I'll go to the 7090.
We just have so many like sim process prints or stuff that has a lot of halftone detail, so it's just 7090-70 all across the board.
I'm a big I really like the 70 single. For one, it's half the price, and and so I can replace them more often. So there's my answer.
Okay. All right.
Okay, fine.
So I got a two-parter. Amy gave us two good questions, so I took another one too. So Amy also asked, what celebrities would play us in a movie about our podcast?
Okay. Can I pick who I want to play me?
Yes. Pick who you want to play you, and then I'll pick who I want to play me.
Will Ferrell. I want to play me.
You want Will Ferrell to be you?
Yeah, because it would be funny, right? It would be just a better version of me.
Yeah, but if he was playing you in the movie, he would have to be really dry and boring. So it'd be one of Will Ferrell's more dramatic roles.
Holy shit, that was a fucking grand slam. It just burned me so fucking hard. You saved the biggest burn for the last show of the year.
You're welcome.
Cheers to that.
Well, I said I would love. I have three options, but my all-time hero is Robin Williams, but he's not alive anymore. And then I said Philip Seymour Hoffman, which isn't alive anymore either. And then I figured that my third choice would be Tim Dillon. So I'm going with one of those options.
Okay. Oh, you fucker.
Next question.
Hey, okay, we got a dad joke. RM Graphics AZ, I think is how it goes. Their question is, why did the Grinch go to the liquor store?
I don't know.
He was searching for some holiday spirit.
That wasn't a question. I mean, I guess it's a question, but we don't have the answers.
Yeah, we didn't have the answer.
Okay. Ryan Kasparian from Covered in Ink asks, what's the most important thing you will need to develop your shop in the new year?
Ryan. We need Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
That's my answer.
It's true. Yeah. Same thing. I would say to talk to Ryan some more about some things, but I had dial in education SOPs.
But he's the perfect guy for that. Yeah, right. Like I would have Ryan, which by the way, there was a amazingly incredible episode by Printavo, I think that came out last week with Ryan.
And Ryan had some hot sweatpants on.
I just listened to it. I didn't see it. But it was so good. Like there were so many things he talked about that were really, really valuable because Ryan has like a great understanding of the shop floor, and he speaks the language of a shop floor, and he knows instantly that, I mean, he was only here for 2 days, and I use some of that stuff still. Like whenever I don't want to give you long examples, but my answer would be Ryan.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. From My City Screen Printing, this is okay. So he asks, to Andy Sad Song and Dilly Uplip, you bum that M&R not going to ISS? I am. Fuck.
That's a hell of a broken English question.
I know. So what do you think? Yeah, I mean, I'm bummed. I understand why. It's a very complicated situation, right? I mean, you're talking about a company, a massive company that has to fly on a jet airplane 40 plus. I don't know how many people exactly, but a lot of people out to a show. And then all these people are going to be exposed at the show. And then when they go to after parties and dinners and everything like that, it's a huge deal, right? And so
you got to think with COVID stuff, like all those people, like you said, they go do these things and then they come back, and then it's one of those things, like any of these manufacturers, like they're struggling with getting supplies and all this other stuff to keep up these deadlines of like getting all this stuff out to you. And like, if they go send all these people out to a show and then bring them back and one of them spreads COVID through the warehouse, then your shit's fucked. Like, how long is the lead time going to extend then? Because half of the staff's got to be out for 2-3 weeks because everybody got COVID. So, you know, they are the big boys. You know, they had to be the ones to step up first and say, hey, I know it sucks. We would love to be there, but sorry, we can't.
So my answer
make the sacrifice.
Is yes. It's like Bummer Town for sure. But I totally understand. And if we do end up going, if it does get canceled and we're there, well, then we know about M&R. You can ask me about a Cobra. You can ask Dylan about a Gauntlet. I have an Ecotex. I have an Eco Rinse. We'll just hold a sign that says M&R maybe.
Everything I have is M&R. So fucking...
We'll represent.
Talk it up.
Next question.
211 Street Apparel asks, will you be sending more nudes in 2022? My answer is, I think me and Andy as a shirt show collective should start an OnlyFans. And then you guys, instead of like a lot of these podcasters do Patreon where like they just extend the podcast, you pay for them. Why don't we just do an OnlyFans and we'll just like do podcasts naked?
Well,
I mean, I'm down.
Okay.
We'll talk about it. Next question.
Kellen from Black and White Screen Print in Canada. He asks, work-life balance. At what point were you able to get a life outside work? Well, what's your answer, Dylan?
I don't have one.
Right. I mean,
the funny thing is I thought about this a lot recently. I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a movie I was watching or something that had something in it that just kind of said the opposite. It said like, I know all these people in this generation wants to like work less and like live more and be free and all this fucking other stuff. And I get that. That's fine. But I feel like most of the people that are talking about that are like 50-50 on their job. And they like more of the shit outside of work. And that's what they want to do more of. Me, I want to dive more into fucking work. Like, it is not like I want to dive into like the manual labor of it and all this other stuff. It's like, I just love the industry and I love learning things about it. And it's like when I have my fucking free time, like, and I get here in the morning, I'm watching like YouTube videos on fucking screen printing when I could be watching YouTube videos on like anything, like fucking.
Well, I think that you can love your job and then also love hobbies or family or traveling or whatever else it is.
No, I get that, but it's like, most of the time my hobby is this. Like, this is what I want to be doing. If I'm home and I'm bored, I'm on my computer doing stuff that's going to help me more when I get back to work, because this is what I want to do. It's where I want to be. So I don't know what to say to that answer, because I don't feel like that's where I'm at in my life right now, is that I want to think about like not being here so much and just spending my time doing.
Kellen,
I don't know what else it would be.
Kellen, Andy's here, and I'm going to help you out with this answer. So, here we go. I think that everybody's work-life balance ratio is different, and I think that what Kellen's referring to is that, there was a point that I barely left here, and I missed out on life stuff, whatever that was. And, like I was at the time thinking I was, initially anyway, was sacrificing. And I also, I rephrased that. Instead of like, I'm sacrificing this, I was investing in this place, that time, so that I could leave, here, when something comes up. And so I think that everybody's ratio is different. And also, it depends on where you are at in the life of your business, and so I'm at a spot where I can leave now, and I can, if I want to, and I can leave for a day or I can leave for a week, and so I do take advantage of those things. And I think that if you don't, I think that if you know that you've been at work for too many hours in a row, for too many days in a row, for too many weeks in a row, you need to get away. Otherwise, a couple of things are going to happen. One, you're going to burn out. Two, you're going to make mistakes. Three, you're going to probably treat your team. Potentially, you're going to be short with people and treat your team the way the way you shouldn't. And then the final answer would be that all of a sudden you're going to be 50 and you're going to be like, fuck, like, where did my life go? And you don't want to be that person that retires and then starts traveling and doing other stuff, let's just say. And then
that's why you got to do the fun traveling with,
I think,
printing.
Well,
really.
there's that too. And I'm not talking about retirement, but I'm just talking about, you don't want to get to a age in life and say, man, where did it go? Like, you just need to slow it down. And I think one of the ways to slow it down is to not always be at work. Even though I love screen printing too, just like you do. We don't have to fight over who likes screen printing more.
I'm just saying, to me, it's not it's not a sacrifice. It's like this morning, like, it's fucking Sunday. And yeah, we have all this time off or whatever. When I got up and got dressed this morning, my wife was still in bed and she was like, where are you going or whatever? I was like, oh, I'm going to go to work. Like, I was joking, but I was also like testing the waters, because if she was like, okay, have fun, I would have been like, fucking see you. Like, I'm going to work. Like, I have a bunch of shit I want to do. Yeah. Like, I can fucking crank the music at work and I could just like be in my own space, get my own shit done, whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, but she was like, oh, it's Sunday. Like, are you going to do this other thing? And I was like, yeah, I was just kidding. Like, I totally would have went to work if she was cool with it.
Well, I understand that. And I think that the answer is, I'm all for bootstrapping it. I'm all for putting in long days and working 7 days straight. I've done that. But I think that the sooner, this kind of goes back and ties into an answer we had earlier, and that is the sooner you can hire somebody, an assistant or wherever you're at that you need, so that it will allow you to get home at 5 or whatever and see your kids, have dinner with your family and stuff like that. The sooner you hire somebody to help you, or also automate some spot in your shop that just makes shit go faster, the sooner you can do that. How many times have we said, like, the moment you automate, you're like, why didn't I do that sooner? Like a department that you're like, why did I fucking wait so long to do that? And so do that thing. And I think Kellen probably knows what we're talking about, because he's automated a lot of spots up there. But it sounds like he's working a little too hard right now. And so I know he bought some plane tickets to Long Beach. So hopefully we see him there.
I do get it. All right. So Jared at AKT asks, is there anything new or different we plan on doing with Shirt Show in 2022?
Hey, what's up, Jared? I got a Hanukkah present from him, which is a Frank button.
Yeah, I got one too.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
It's right there on my desk.
Oh, cool.
I think that the answer to this question is, we've talked about a couple things. Nothing crazy, because this format works and we like just doing it, and we're going to talk to more cool people. But I think Andy should get that soundboard up and running, so we have sick fucking sounds for
that would be cool.
Quick takes and all this other stuff.
I know.
I think Andy needs to add one more plant to his background.
You can do that.
I want more shit behind me, so keep sending me cool stuff. Other than that, we talked about my actual dad calling in and doing a joke in the beginning, which I plan on doing fully.
I think when we get bored of something, or bored of a segment, or bored of the way we do something, and you've done it too many times, we change it. Sometimes it's hard. Like, I am bored of certain parts of it, but I'm like, it's just tradition. I can't change it at this point. And I think something will come along where this is kind of fun. Let's do that, And so
we'll
change it up.
We're just winging it. It's just me
and
you
winging it,
shooting the shit. I think one thing I've been thinking about that I really want to do, and I haven't talked to you about this yet, we kind of talked about it before, is I would like to really work on the website. I think it's shirtshowofficial.com.
Oh,
I'd like to make it to where there's a page that has all of the shop hacks on it, or has a place where you can submit shop hacks, to where we can have a website with all these like print tips and tricks and all this other stuff, to where it's more of like a place where all of us printers can go and just add like knowledge things, and it's all in
we would
place.
Need help with that, though. I don't have time.
I mean, I would do it. Like, I would do it on free time, where I would just like add in things or go back to other episodes and listen to shop hacks. I'm just saying I would like to do that at some point.
On that note, we need merch. We need to, we print t-shirts. What the fuck's wrong with us? There have been so many shirts that I would have worn by now that we've said stupid shit about, and we just never have time to do it. I would love to have merch.
More merch.
More merch. All right. I have a question from 1585 Print Co. They said, when growing and investing in your shop, bigger equipment or more services?
I don't know if I agree with more services.
I don't either. My answer was going to be,
I would say dive into what you're really good at.
I like that too. I'm not, and I know diversifying is good. And we do have, because he says an example is embroidery, and we do embroidery here, and that just goes so well. Like, it's just a crossover. It's just an easy one for us. Would I do embroidery all over again? The answer is absolutely not. We make money over there. We do. It's a nice, like I said, it's a nice add to an order. And then sometimes people come in here for embroidery and they end up ordering screen printing.
I feel like embroidery is one of those things that's more hand in hand than anything else. You know what I mean? Like, people always order like, mean? I'm just saying, a lot of people always order like 100 shirts and then like 20 hats. It's not like people are always like, I order 100 shirts and like 50 pens. It's like it's so close together in apparel that it's like people always order things like that together. Like we do a ton of embroidery, but we send it all to the lady across the street. Like we
I like that. So I like sending it out. Like I wouldn't have, because with embroidery, with our embroidery department, that means we have to train.
It's a whole nother set of people.
So somebody to run it. It's that, and there's more machines, there's more equipment, So I would probably not add embroidery all over again. Instead, I would double down on screen printing at that moment, because I spread myself a little thin. Even when I did that, I bought those machines and everything like that. I would just double down on screen printing. So my answer would be bigger equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tyler and Alexa ask from In-House Prints, when are me and you going to do this East Coast road trip?
When are we?
I'm fucking ready now.
All right. Well, I'll buy some tickets tonight.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, you mean I'm supposed to buy some tickets tonight and fly out tomorrow?
Yeah, the red eye. I'll pick you up in Syracuse. We'll get some Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
And let's just hit the road.
I heard, I've never had this. I heard Chick-fil-A has breakfast too.
Mm-hmm. You get the mama and the baby in the same sandwich.
I mean, there's an egg on
a chicken sandwich with egg on it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like on a muffin or something?
Yeah.
Or I mean, a biscuit?
Yeah.
Okay.
We should do it though. We should do it in like, I don't know, maybe March.
Right. You mean because weather would be a little better?
Yeah, a little bit. And I have a shitload of stuff going on in January and February. So maybe we should just do it in March.
Okay. So if we do it, we need to plan it. And then we need to see who will take us. Like who is going to say, yeah, come by and hang out.
There's a lot of people on the East Coast.
All right.
We'll just drive to Florida and then we'll fly home.
All right. And if we go, I feel like if we go to like their shop, in-house, that we're going to probably end up at like Sam's Club drinking shitty tea.
Eating hot dogs.
Yeah, like I know that's their thing, but it will make the best out of it. We'll make the best of it.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Do you have any more or do you want me to keep going?
That's it. I'm out. That's all I've got.
All right. Shifty Apparel asks, what are your 3 favorite tips that you have learned from doing the podcast?
Baby wipes.
Baby wipes was my first one.
What's your next one?
Frank screens.
I already knew about them.
I know, but I wasn't using them in the beginning. I started using, was you talking me into it.
Please say your third thing is tape.
Actually, my third one was kind of out of left field. It was, and I have it saved. I have our own podcast thumbnail saved in my saved folder on Instagram. And it's Rick from Kinetic Print Co.'s inside pocket printing tip.
Ooh, I've never tried it, but it is.
I haven't either, but I really want to. And I have it saved because I want to. And I just thought that was awesome. Like the whole pulling it inside out so you could get the whole print on the inside. I haven't tried it yet, but it sounds like something I really want to do. So
what else do I use every day or something very often?
The only other thing I was thinking is just more like business tips and ideas, kind of like how we were talking about like self-worth and firing customers and things like that. Like, I feel like we already knew that. We just kind of worked through issues, kind of like just talking them over kind of made things change in my mind. So I feel like that was really related to the show. There's a bunch of fucking like tips and
there's
tricks
so many for me to say my favorite.
But to me, just like rattle off the top 3 that are on my mind, it was definitely like baby wipes. Was like
I got one. I really like the Scott. He gave that tip once of that rounded, curved, I should say, putty knife. Scoop. Yeah, I got them on Amazon. They're green, and I use it all the time. So when we have, because we used to leave some white behind. And I thought when I looked at it, like, oh, well, that's not very much ink. We're good. But actually, when you get in with that rounded putty knife, you get so much more than you thought. So yeah, I love that tip. There's so many.
Right.
Good. Any more? Any more questions?
Can't think of any more. Yeah, I got more. The Filthy Few asks, who has better hair, Ryan Moore or Jonathan Catspit?
That's close because they're
know.
different
That's what
styles.
I said Jonathan and Cat Spit. They're both iconic cuts, but
Mhm.
Jonathan's is more like flowy and majestic.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with
Like
you.
Jonathan's looks like he gets out of the shower and just dries that shit, and it looks like flowy, beautiful locks.
Mhm.
Ryan has to put some effort and like gel or mousse or something into like getting the look and shape.
Well, maybe, but Jonathan has to like shampoo and condition. Ryan's just like boom, and it's quickie.
Yeah.
So maybe I think Ryan has a shorter in shower situation, whereas Catspit's
he has to spend the extra
post-shower.
dough on like the good shampoo and conditioner.
Both handsome men though.
Yeah, definitely.
What else you got?
I kind of want to save this one for last, but let's do it now. John from Logo Daddy asks, ask Andy about wanting to be a cowboy growing up. Cheers to the new year, fellas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm weird, but I wanted to be a cowboy. I had at one of my birthday parties, my mom had rented a horse and they
like a real full-on horse?
A real horse with a saddle and the whole bit, and brought it to my grandma's house. And then we had like horse ride. I want to say pony rides, but I guess that's what it was. And we rode around, and I had my cowboy hat. I have a picture of this, by the way, which I can bring, or I'll show it to you, where I have a cowboy hat and a vest and my chaps and my cap guns or whatever it was. And I, by all means, wasn't spoiled like that with birthday parties growing up. I mean, that was probably the best birthday party I ever had. My dad had just passed away, and my mom was like, okay, this kid really wants to be a cowboy.
We're getting this kid a horse.
We're going to make him, we're going to throw him this like epic birthday party. So that's what happened. Yeah. I love like, and I still like, I think it's, dude, and I'm watching Yellowstone right now.
It really makes you want to be a cowboy.
I know. It's like, it's all over again. It's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So cowboy.
Okay. Did you pursue that anymore other than the birthday party? Were you like looking into being a cowboy, or were you just like,
I don't think that, they have many cowboys anymore.
They still have cowboys.
I mean, a little bit like,
well, my question is that when he asked that, I was thinking about it because you said you like kind of like roamed around a little bit and like went to Colorado and like that area. I was like, well, did he try to fucking like be a ranch hand anywhere? Or
that would have been great. No, I don't know. I changed. So like I went through all sorts of phases. I wanted to be, I watched.
Well, you wanted to be on Wall Street.
I did. And I watched, I was like, oh, well, this is going to be cool, until I found out that I didn't like that. And then wanted to be a hippie, and I found out I didn't like that. And then all of a sudden I printed a shirt one day, and I was like, okay, I was done.
Right. Makes sense. Okay.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna skip that one. Tyler from Black Rifle asks, can I come visit your guys' shops? And the answer is hell yeah. I will have you anytime, and I want to come back out to your shop in early next year. Yeah,
same. Anytime.
I'll just have to bring Andy with me next time.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it. I want to make it to Utah. I haven't been there in a long time. It's just so beautiful. In fact, Yellowstone's filmed there. I didn't know, and it is gorgeous.
Yes, very much so. I can't wait to go back. Chrissy at Varsity asks, best compliment you have ever gotten?
Well, what you got?
Mine would that people actually care and listen to this show. That's a compliment for me. I couldn't think of
that's
any
pretty
other
good,
compliment
right?
in life that someone's given me, and I'm like, oh my God. And I carry it with me.
Yeah, we're just a couple of guys talking, and to think that's interesting, and
that it's people's Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Like people look forward to hearing our fucking dumbass voices on Mondays.
That's pretty neat.
It's pretty awesome.
I like it. I'm going to use that one too.
Ron at We Talk Shirty asks, How do you schedule press time? Do you make a list of jobs for the day?
Yeah. Do you want me to go?
Yeah.
So we run our schedule in Monday, and we have a giant column of jobs ready to print. And then we have a giant column of jobs that are in progress. And the reason why it wouldn't be ready to print there's a lot of reasons. One of them, maybe the art isn't approved. Maybe the shirts aren't all here and that kind of stuff, right? Well, if it's ready to print, then those go out. We go a week out. And so we make a list of a week out. So if, let's say on Monday when we get here, I already have one for the 3rd when we get back, and it says Monday, or doesn't say Monday, it says Monday at the top, and then it has all the dates chronologically from soonest due to
Right.
a week out. And so that's our production schedule. So we'll pull orders in according to that, like whichever one's due first. Sometimes we don't do that because it'll just make sense to print one that's due. Like if you have the same colors up or whatever, if you have,
or you put hoodies
up
together or something.
Yeah, you put them together. And so it's not always like in priority, but it is, we try to keep it in priority, and then we also print whichever makes sense next. So, or if jobs maybe go together, let's say.
Yeah, mine's very similar. It's just based on turnaround time, and we kind of just break it up per press. So I have a list per each press for the day of what they need to do, and that's based on color count and complexity for whatever press that's going on. And then it just kind of goes. I look at it and I'm like, this is pretty doable for that press for that day. Generally, we're ahead on turnaround. So if they don't finish the last job, it goes over the next day. And then on that week, I tend to keep Friday with like 1 or 2 jobs on it. So that way, if stuff rolls from Monday to Tuesday, some stuff on Tuesday rolls to Wednesday, and so on, it will fill up Friday by the time we get there. So that's pretty much it without using any like super tracking or data to show like this specific job should take this specific amount of time. I know that's a thing. I don't super believe in it because of the fact that shit happens all the time in this industry. It's nice to know that this job should take X amount of time, but I don't do it that way. I mean, it'd be cool to know that, but I do not do it that way.
I don't either.
But
we have a gut.
It's
you have an idea
of like, oh, this 101 color should take this amount of time.
Right.
All right. Last question I got. Scott at King Screen asks, if you were a side dish at Christmas dinner, what would you be? My answer is deviled eggs.
My answer on which dinner? Christmas Eve?
Christmas dinner.
Christmas dinner. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Yeah.
What kind of mashed potatoes? Redskins in? Your signature dish?
No, I'd probably go with gold.
But like butter and milk added? Salt and pepper?
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
A little sour cream?
Not usually at
or like garlic
not
mash?
Christmas dinner. Not Christmas dinner sour cream. Usually it's just gravy. Yeah. Sour cream though, I mean that's if like you have a baked potato with
I'm saying you mix sour cream in the mashed potatoes.
Oh.
Gives them a little extra.
I'm sure it's good. Yeah, go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all I got, man. Do we have any quick takes, or do we want to say anything?
I have a few quick takes for you. Yeah. Did you write any for me?
I did not.
All right, motherfucker. Well,
you're the quick take master, so I figured. Are these just for me? Like you're going to ask me alone?
Just for you. There's 4.
Okay.
Number 1, ice cream or iced tea?
Iced tea.
Definitely. Oh, I didn't know you were into iced tea. Like you were a fan of his?
Yeah, hell yeah. Body Count, great band.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
Number 2. Careful here. I'm vulnerable.
Okay.
Steaks by yourself or kale salad with me?
Kale salad with you.
Oh, appreciate that. Number 3. Okay, this is kind of cool. This is a tough one because I want both so bad, but I chose one ultimately. 100 years into the future or 100 years back in time.
I would say 100 years in the future because I really am going to be bummed if like aliens aren't like hanging out with us by the time I die. So I'm hoping that in 100 years we'll have that. But I also feel like the way shit's going in 100 years, stuff's going to be really fucked by then anyway. So I'm probably going to regret that. And I'm going to want to do 100 years back when shit was like cool and not hot as fuck. And like governments didn't hate each other all the time as much.
Yeah, all of a sudden you like are transported to 100 years in the future.
And it's just like a nuked planet.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. If I have like a 5 or a 10-second window where I can change my mind once I get there, then that would be cool.
No, it's like all in. So you have one choice.
Fuck it, future. If it sucks, I had a good life. I had a good run.
Right. I just chose to go back in time because it would be really cool to, for one,
die from a disease that wasn't cured yet.
No, Dylan. It would just be cool.
Get polio.
There's so many great things about. Look, there's so many great things about now and present and the internet and all these things, but there's also so many great things that not about now. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
I think it would be great. Yeah. I'd go back 100 years.
Yeah.
Plus, you already know all about stuff, so you'd be like the man. You'd be like, okay, well, hey, guess what? I'm going to invent the iPhone. Fuck off.
100 years ago.
Yeah. See? All right. And the last thing, it's not really a quick take. I guess it is. What's for dinner?
Well, as soon as this is over, Bill and Chris are meeting me here, and we're going to play Gears of War 1 to 50 Insane. So probably throw a couple of Barons in the oven and a couple ice cold Coca-Colas and be a grown-up adult man that sits down and plays video games with his friends.
I don't know. That sounds nice. Me, I am also going to have pizza, but it's not Barons. It's the fancy. It's a Baron with some fancy cheese on it. Nope. I haven't had a Baron in, I don't know, years, but it is going to be, you know how I do it. Target crust. I know. For those who don't know, go to Target and buy, I'm going to have to get the name of
pre-made crust.
It's just a pre-made crust. And then, so last night, it's going to be the same pizza as I made last night. I made a white sauce pizza. It was awesome.
You're just going to eat it 2 nights in a row?
I'm making it all over again, a fresh one. Yeah, but yeah. Joanne liked it so much. She's like, give me another one.
My mom brought me a Christmas present when she came over for breakfast, and she made me an entire tray, like those like aluminum tray pans you would take to like a wedding or something. She made me a whole one of those of beer battered chicken just for me. She's like,
for
hey,
Christmas?
you fat piece of shit. Here's an entire tray of fucking fried chicken. I love beer battered chicken. Beer battered chicken's amazing. I love it. And she knows that. And that's why she gave it to me. But it's a lot of fucking chicken.
Yeah, that does sound. I was watching Man vs. Food, and they had he went to this place and they take a hot dog. It's a foot long. So they take a foot long hot dog. They put it in flour, and then they put it in beer batter.
Yeah.
And then they drop it in a fryer.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like not as thick it's not cornbread. I guess it's more like and they drop it in a fryer. Yeah, there you go. Put it on a bun.
I love beer batter chicken. We used to get together a lot when Game of Thrones was on, and everyone from the shop would come to my house, and I would always make dinner, and I would make like a big thing of whatever taco stuff, or I would make whatever. And a lot of times I made beer batter chicken and tater tots. And like, I just love beer batter chicken. It's so good.
It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's just definitely a heart attack food. Like it's like not good for you in any way, but it's delicious.
Well, Dylan, I had a lot of fun tonight. Happy New Year. Thank you for putting up with me 52 times a year.
I would put up with you for the rest of my life.
Okay, well then, good. We have another year locked in for 2022. And I don't know. I can't wait to, I really look forward to, like, when I wake up on Sunday, I finish like writing out what I want to talk about. And then I drive out here and I get ready. Yeah. Like I sign in and I'm like, let's do this.
I can't wait to talk to this man for 3 hours.
That's right.
And this was kind of nice because I just got to talk to you. Like
This is different. Yeah.
There was no
only done
pressure
this-
of a guest and like trying to talk to them about their life. It's just two guys shooting the shit about their year.
Yeah. Well, cheers to 2021 and cheers to 2022. Love you,
Hey,
man.
Love you, bud. I'll see you later.
You gonna wave now?